Okay, fantastic. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody joining us today. My name is Adeza Suleiman, and I'll be your pilot for our session. Okay, we have Manzo. Manzo is saying, who was the guy in the UK who spoke before Louis? Don't worry, we'll look into all the testimonials, and I'll show you where you can get everything in a single location. Okay, before we get started today, if you are joining us for the first time, this is your first time in a Tenalytics Tech series session, type in a 1 into the chat. Just type number 1 into the chat. Okay, Sixtus says he needs one of my glasses. I'll get you one, Sixtus, don't worry. Just connect with me after this class and then we'll arrange that for you. Okay, absolutely fantastic. So we have quite a number of people joining us for the first time. Now, if you have a friend, you have a colleague, you know somebody who has been trying to get a job, okay, they recently moved or they are currently in a specific region, they're in the US, they're in Canada, they're back in Ghana, they're in South Africa, in Nigeria, and they also want to move and come to the UK, to the US, move abroad essentially. And they need to know the type of skills they need to get those jobs. Then they need to be here. If you are doing your master's, you recently just completed your master's, you're a dependent, you are doing a postgraduate degree, and you are thinking of what would life after university look like, then this is the best place for you to be. Okay, today we're going to look at work from home jobs. How do you get remote jobs across these regions, especially remote jobs that also come with sponsorship and so many other things attached to them? And how do you get these jobs without prior experience in these areas? So that's what our session today would center around. Okay, so if you know somebody that should be here and they are not here yet, invite them to join us today. We're going to have an amazing time. And two things I'd guarantee you at the end of our session today. Number one is you'd leave the session today with all the knowledge and information you need to get started in that career path you're interested in getting into. And secondly, you know exactly what employers are looking for in candidates, okay? Because people don't know what employers want and they go about getting what they think, and at the end of the day, they can't land that job. All right. For us at Tenalytics, for those joining us for the very first time, Tenalytics is an educational technology company, and the focus for us is on helping Africans in Africa, Africans in the diaspora to transition into the tech ecosystem. And over the last 4 years, we've helped over 2,850 people make that transition from different areas across different regions, from data analytics to business analysis to data science, project management, across the US, the UK, Canada, Europe, Asia, and so on and so forth. But the big question is, how does a care worker who has no prior experience become a business analyst? How does an accountant become a data scientist? How did Adeza, speaking to you today, who studied industrial chemistry, became a data analyst, data scientist, and so on and so forth? And that's what our session today would center around. And of course, I'm the founder of Tenalytics. I'm a technology expert with over a decade experience in data analytics and management consulting. So like so many of you, I had no experience, I had no background. My first degree was in industrial chemistry. And my very first job out of the university was as a management consultant. But then I was able to transition. Okay. And over the last decade of my career, I've been able to help thousands and thousands of people to also make that same jump. And I'll share my experience with you today. All right. I've worked as a data science consultant in the US and in the UK. I've lived in the UK. I've worked in the UK. I've schooled in the UK. I'm currently in Canada doing exactly the same thing I've done in the UK, helping more people within this region to also make that pivot. I've worked as a data analyst with one of the largest energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa. And I've also worked as a data analytics consultant with FITC, owned by the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Bankers Committee. My experience spans across 5 different sectors. And this shows you the ability you have to transcend sectors when you have certain set of skills. I've worked in sports, financial services, which was where I started my journey, educational technology, energy, automobile, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's where we're going to start from today. Remember, you know somebody that should be here, invite them to join us, and let's get started with our session. Okay, so today what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you the in-demand career path, because this is one place a lot of people struggle. What career path should I get into? Should I jump into business analysis? Should I become a digital marketer? What exactly should I do? Okay, I'll help you demystify that. Then I'll show you exactly what employers are looking for and success stories, where to find these jobs, how to identify the skills required. So you quit listening to everybody who has an opinion and you know exactly where to check. If I want to become a data scientist, where do I need to search for these jobs? How do I need to know exactly what is required? Do I really need mathematics to get started? So you quit listening to people, opinions of what people have to say, and you know exactly where to find these jobs. And then I'll show you how to get started. Our upcoming cohorts in March and in April. We've had our first cohort this year start in January. The second cohort started on the 8th of February. We have another cohort in March, April, all through the year. But we have an amazing discount for those who want to get started in the month of March and April. Okay, so our session will center around these 4 key areas. And I'm going to walk you through every single thing that you need to get started. A lot of people struggle to get jobs. I won't say I struggled to land a job. So I'll tell you a little bit of my own story. When I moved to the UK, typically what people, and the co-founder of Tenalytics, Efemena, for those of you that are familiar with Tenalytics, you definitely know who Efemena is. Efemena is the co-founder. Efemena moved to Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, and he got jobs, different jobs. Some jobs he even got contract jobs that required 3 months, 6 months to complete, and he had a lot of tons of projects. I jumped on so many of those projects with him while I was still in Nigeria. And then Ifemena was saying all the time, Adeza, you need to come abroad. You need to move abroad. Come to the UK. I'm planning to leave Ireland. I'm going to the UK as well. There are so many opportunities. Now, the difference between Ifemena and so many other people is they would advise you to go learn how to cut hair. Okay. Oh, if you know how to cut hair, you can launch a barbing salon. If you are a lady, you learn how to make hair, you earn good money and so on. But those are skills that require your time. The more money you would have to make as a barber, for example, the more time you have to spend. Okay. Now, when I moved to the UK, I got my very first job a month after I moved to the UK. And how did that happen? I already had the skills back in Nigeria. Myself and Ifemena, while we were still in Nigeria, we learned Excel, we learned Power BI, we learned SQL. We had those skills as data analysts. So I knew that I was very confident when I decided to leave Nigeria and move to the UK that I would really not struggle to land a job. And truly, I did not struggle to land a job. I got my very first job with Belron Group in the automobile sector, and I worked as a customer insights analyst, helping them extract insights from the feedback of customers to help them take decisions to solve customers' problems and the areas they need to look at and so on and so forth. But 70% of people lack the skills to get the jobs they need to get, especially when they move abroad. 70% of people struggle. And the reason why they struggle is very simple. 2 major reasons. The first one is they don't apply to jobs. You can't get the jobs you don't apply to. You lose out 100% if you don't apply to jobs. But why don't you apply to jobs? When you see data analyst roles, data engineering roles, cybersecurity roles, why don't you apply? The second reason is simple, and that's simply because most of the people that eventually go ahead and apply don't have the right skills and they don't have the right experience. If you don't have the skills and experience, you would never get that job, especially jobs that are heavily skilled based and they require you to have the skills. They also require show of experience to get the jobs. If you don't have that, you would never get that job. And that was why I was able to get a job a month after I moved to the UK. I had the skills. I knew Excel, I knew Power BI, I knew SQL, I knew Tableau. I was a data analyst and I didn't have to struggle. All right. There is a major talent gap. There's a talent shortage across board, across Europe. In fact, the talent shortage has been increasing over the last couple of years. The UK, for example, I'll use that as a typical example. The UK moved from 19% in 2018 to 80% in 2023. So there are a lot of jobs, but people don't apply to these jobs. That's the meaning. That's simply what that means. There are jobs available, but you don't have enough people to fill those jobs. And that's the reason why you had something like the shortage occupation list that used to exist before April 2024 last year. So you had list of career path where if you have these skills, you easily would land a job because of the high demand. Okay. So remember this as we move on. There are few or no applicants for the jobs available. And the reason why there are few or no applicants is simply because those applicants don't have the right skills and they don't have the right experience. So they'll go ahead and apply to other jobs that are seemingly easier to get, the warehouse jobs, the health and care jobs, and so on and so forth. Okay. But today, by the end of today's session, my mission to you and my promise to you is you'd understand exactly what organizations are looking for. What do they want? How can I compete for some of the best jobs available? And how do I position myself to get those jobs? Because having the skills alone is not enough. And that's where a lot of people make the mistake. They have the skills, they feel they're the best in the use of Excel, they're the best in the use of Python, they're the best business analyst available. But if you don't know how to position yourself, you won't get that job. All right. So all the links to some of the reports I'll be sharing with you today, I have them on my slide. So ensure that you fill the attendance form when my colleagues paste that in the chat. You'd see that in the chat from time to time. Fill the attendance form so you get access to the recording after this session, my materials, and every other thing we'd use in today's session. Now, let's get into the demand of jobs. For those in the UK, for those in Canada, for those in the US, it's 2025 and I want to apply to get a job. I'm sick and tired of doing the jobs that are physically demanding, that takes all my time, and I don't earn enough money. I want to get a job. Where should I focus on? That's the most important question you want to answer this year. Where should I focus on? What career path should I focus on? And we'll take the UK, for example. According to the government, the UK government Department of Innovation and Technology, about 48%, which is half of the businesses in the UK, half of the companies in the UK are recruiting for roles that have data skills, roles that have data attached to it. All right. And every year, year on year, there are potentially over 178,000 to 234,000 jobs available, but you don't have enough people to fill these jobs. Because of the two reasons I shared with you at the previous slides, they don't have the skill, they don't apply to those jobs because they don't have the skills and experience. So think about it. Over 178 to 234,000 jobs available, but nobody to fill those jobs. And half of the businesses, half of the companies in the UK are recruiting and are looking to hire for those roles. And some of the top 10 roles you'd find in this area: data analyst, head of data, data manager, data scientist, data engineer, data protection officer, and so on and so forth. As long as my current skills, my current career path has something to do with data, I can rest assured that I'll get a job if I'm in the UK. So you need to start shifting from what everybody else has to say to what the data actually says. Where are the jobs? Where can I get these jobs? All right. Now, looking at the US, for example, the top 10 in-demand career path in 2025, you have the data engineering role, senior software engineer, the software developer, cloud architects, systems engineer, the data scientist, the systems admin, cybersecurity professionals, the agile project manager, desktop support analyst. Now, some of them are highlighted in amber deliberately. And these are the jobs where you have the opportunity to easily transition into. Because a job is high in demand, part of the top 10, does not necessarily mean that it's easy to get into those career paths. Let's take the software developer, for example. I want to become a full stack software developer, a full stack software engineer, front end and back end. That will take me roughly about 24 months, 18 to 24 months to learn the skills, work on enough projects in order to compete for the jobs available out there. So it's not easy to get into. So, but what we do at Analytics is to look at those jobs that are high in demand and that are also easy to transition into, because I can learn these skills within the space of 6 to 12 months, work on enough projects, build the skills, know how to position myself, and apply to get those jobs. And that's where you have the data engineering role, the cloud architect, which is related to data engineering as well, data scientists, the cybersecurity professionals, and the agile project manager. And if you go to Canada, the top 10 in demand jobs, you have the project manager, the data analyst, the business analyst, the data engineer, Java developer, DevOps, software developer, network engineer, solutions architect, and data scientist. Again, you've seen the career path I've highlighted in amber, and those are the career path you want to focus on. You can learn the skills within the space of 6 to 12 months. They are easy to transition into. It doesn't matter if what you've done in the past is in accounting. You can become a data analyst. It doesn't matter if you've been a logistics professional. You can become a project manager. You could have done care work, a support worker, and become a business analyst, for example. All right. So what I've also done is to keep the link to all these, like I said, some of the reports I'll be sharing with you. You'd have the opportunity to access them at the end of our session. So Hayes is one of the most popular, reputable recruitment agencies globally. So you'd see some of the 10 jobs to look out for. And you'd see the data scientist, solutions architect, network engineer, just like I listed. All right. And you can read about this, see what these roles are all about. But these are the type of research we carry out. We also scrape data from the major job boards to come up with the career path that would land you the jobs the fastest, because that should be your focus. I can learn them within the space of 6 to 12 months, build the skills, and land a job in the shortest period of time and the fastest possible. And we came up with 8 different career paths: the data analyst, the data scientist, the data engineer, the cybersecurity professional, the business analyst, the financial analyst, the HR analyst, and last but not the least, the agile project manager, scrum master. So you want to get a job in 2025. These are the areas you need to focus on. 8 career paths. So what I want you to do is make a note of these 8 career paths. List them down somewhere. Get a pen, get a notepad, and jot things down. So you have a lot of things to take away from today's session. All right. So these are the 8 career paths you want to focus on if you want to get a job. Now, one of the mistakes a lot of people also make is, if I learn to become a data analyst, does that mean I can only apply to jobs as a data analyst? The answer is no. You can apply to jobs as a business intelligence analyst. And I'll show you this as we move on today. As a BI analyst, as a marketing data analyst, as a logistics analyst, database analyst, administrator, and so on and so forth. So in a single career path, you have derivatives in those areas. I could have joined an agile project management program, but I can become a scrum master. I can get a job as a scrum master because agile includes so many frameworks, including Kanban, Scrum, Lean, Safe, and so on and so forth. So getting into an agile project management program means I can get a job as a scrum master. I can get a job as a PMO analyst. I can get a job as an agile coach, and so on and so forth. Okay. So what we're quickly going to do is, I want to also highlight a couple of things for those in different regions. You're outside the UK, you want to go into the UK, you want to get a job, and you want to get a skilled worker visa. All right, you're a student, you're currently on a student visa, tier 4 visa. You want to get a skilled worker visa, a tier 2 visa, and get sponsorship. You want to get that COS from a company that has a license to sponsor. One of the first things you want to do is to ensure that all of these career paths, the 8 of them, are part of the eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa. If you're in Canada as well, you want to get your PR. There are accelerated pathways in different provinces that give you access to your permanent residence if you have an offer from any of these 8 career paths. And I'll just show you this very quickly, just to highlight a few. All right. So we'll start by going to the UK government's website, and you can just simply type that in your chat. I'm going to maximize this so we can all follow exactly what I'm doing. So I'm just simply going to type eligible occupations for skilled worker visa. Okay, so just type that in your browser. It will bring up the link, but I have all the links attached in my slides somewhere. Okay, so if you want to get my slides at the end of today's session, make sure you fill the attendance form. Very, very important. So I'm going to go to the gov.uk website, and what I want to see are the skilled worker visa eligible occupations. So if I get an offer from a company that has the license to sponsor in any of these areas, and the offer comes with the salary threshold, which was increased last year to £38,700. So I get the offer with a salary threshold of a minimum of 38,700. I can get a COS from that company, a certificate of sponsorship, and I can apply to the Home Office to get my skilled worker visa. So we're going to look at a couple of roles, maybe just 2 or 3 because of time. But let's look at cybersecurity, for example. And the code for cybersecurity is 2135. Because getting sponsorship, you can't get that with all the career path available. No, there are certain career paths where you can get your skilled worker visa, and cybersecurity is one of them. 2135, that's it right there. And you'd see the cybersecurity professionals. So if you get a job as an ethical hacker, penetration tester, data security manager, forensic computer investigator, IT security analyst, security operations center analyst, GRC consultant, GRC analyst, you will be able to get a skilled worker visa if you have an offer from a company that has a license to sponsor. Okay, we're also quickly going to go to the business analyst. If I get a job or I get an offer as a business analyst, can I also apply? Absolutely. So the business analyst is 2431. I'm going to scroll down very quickly to 2431. Okay, so this is very important. All right, so 2431, you'd see the management consultants and business analysts. So if I get an offer as a financial risk analyst, business consultant, digital business analyst, business advisor, management consultant, I can apply to get my skilled worker visa if the company offers me a COS. Okay, data analyst as well. We can check that very quickly. That's 3544. I'm just simply going to scroll all the way down. 3544, you'd see the data analyst. So all the 8 career paths I've highlighted, you'd find them under the eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa. Meaning that if I get an offer, I meet the salary threshold of a minimum of 38,500 and some other requirements, English language requirements, which if you're a master's student in the UK, for example, or you studied in the UK, you've automatically met that requirement of English language. All right. The salary threshold is a minimum of 38,700. The organization has a license to sponsor. They give you a COS. You will get your skilled worker visa. All right. So also very quickly, I'm going to show you the Alberta. I'll show you the Alberta accelerated pathway, okay, for those who would want to get their permanent residency, and also in Saskatchewan as well. All right. So I'm just going to paste the link, would go in there, and you'd see the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program. This was scrapped a few months ago. Last year, this didn't run, but it's launching again. It launched again, and you have the opportunity to go through this pathway. You submit your expression of interest, and once you get that, you get a nomination, provincial nomination, which adds to your points, and you eventually would get your invitation to apply. So you'd see the cybersecurity specialist, the data scientist, the business systems analyst. Those are your business analysts. The database analyst, data administrators. These are the data analysts, and so on. So you'd see that these are the career path that gives you an edge. We're also just quickly going to check one more, and then we'll move on. Now, the reason why we are doing this is you don't want to get into any career path. You want to know exactly where you're getting into. Okay. So Saskatchewan has a tech talent pathway, for example. Okay. So for express entry, you have some career path that qualifies you for this nomination. Okay. Database analysts, those are the data analysts. You have the business systems analysts, these are the business analysts, the data scientists, the cybersecurity professionals, and so on and so forth. So 8 key career paths, all the 8. Doesn't matter where you are. These are the type of jobs you want to compete for. All right. These are the jobs that gives you accelerated pathways to getting permanent residency wherever you are. If you're in the US as well, you'd find out that organizations petition for the H-1B visas for this particular career path, the data scientist, the data analyst, and so on. Okay. So will there be internship opportunities? Absolutely, Ochuko. And I'm going to talk about that eventually. Is there a certification for completion? Yes, there is. I'm going to talk about that. But certifications don't position you for the job. Okay, so just sit back, relax. By the time I'm done in the next 1 hour, all the questions you have, I would have answered them. Okay, so a lot of people, we still carry that mindset that there is a paper ceiling above us. And that paper ceiling is getting a certification, getting a certification. I've worked with thousands of people, business analysts, project managers, scrum masters. They have PMP, they have the PSM certification, they have the CSM certification, they have the CBAP certification, but they can't get a job. Why? Certifications are very poor at measuring how well you can do the job. Having a certificate only shows one thing to the employer. It shows that you can retain information and bring out that information when you need to. It doesn't show you can do the job. And employers would hire you because they know you can do the job. Okay, so we're going to get there, and I'm going to show you exactly how you position yourself with experience. So what are employers looking for? So Chuko's question takes us to that question exactly. What are employers looking for? Okay, what do they want from you? They only want one thing. And I'll summarize what they want into a phrase. It's a phrase that we live by at Analytics, and it's called competence over credentials. Competence over what? Credentials. Your credentials are your certificates, they're your university degree, but how has that helped you to land a job? It doesn't help in any way. I studied industrial chemistry. I've not worked for 1 second in my life as an industrial chemist. All I've done, management consulting, data analytics, data science, data engineering, business data analysts for the last decade of my career. Okay, so credentials don't help you. They do very little to nothing in helping you get that job. What employers want from you? One thing, your competence. And what does your competence include? What does it what entails? What does it entail? 2 things, your skills and your experience. This is what shows you have the competence to do the job. The skills is a given. Every employer expects that you have the skills. If they want to hire you as a business analyst, they want to ensure that You know Excel, you know Power BI, you know SQL. You know how to map out processes. You know elicitation, requirements engineering, requirements fundamentals, stakeholder engagement and analysis, Agile and Scrum for projects. They expect that you know all these things. And these skills can be measured in a recruitment exercise. Okay, they can give you a case study. Your ability to complete and present that case study would show that you have the skills. But how about experience? How do you gain experience? That's the most important question, because people would ask me, Adeza, I need to get a job to gain experience. But the jobs I'm applying to require experience in order to get those jobs. So it's a chicken and the egg situation. Which one comes first, the job or the experience? It has to be the experience. Employers would hire you because you have the experience to solve the problem. They don't have the patience for you to learn on their own, expense. So they want you to come in, hit the ground running, and start solving problems for them. So how do you gain the experience? And I'm going to talk about that. Somebody hinted a little bit on what is involved, but it's beyond internship. Internship is one of them, and you get to do your internship with us at Analytics. But experience goes beyond internship. What else do you need to do? I'm going to walk you through that in the next couple of minutes, and you know exactly where you stand. You know the mistakes you've been making. If you've been applying to jobs and you've been getting rejections, you'd see the reason why you have been getting rejections. But first of all, we're going to look at the skills. Okay. And this is where you take your notepad and your pen. All right. And the first thing you want to write on that notepad is competence over credentials. Any employer would hire you for your competence. They don't hire you for your credentials, your ability to show that you have the skills and you have the experience to get the job done. Okay, so we're going to get into the skills first of all. All the 8 career paths we listed, all the 8 career paths, I want you to type into the chat. Okay, for those of you, I'm just going to go back to that slide very quickly. All the 8 career paths I listed, type into the chat which one of them are you interested in. Data analytics, business analysis, just type into the chat. You can have more than one. That's perfectly fine. By the end of today's session, you start to realize that, okay, I'm going to drill down from 2 to 1, from 3 to 2. But you should have a maximum of 2 areas you are interested in and a minimum of 1. So type into the chat. I'd like to see your feedback. Fantastic. So Olori says BA, Peter B, business analysis, Ebenezer, business analysis, Emmanuel, data analytics, Tohib, data scientist, cybersecurity, data analytics and data science, project management from Raimat, Esther, business analysis. Absolutely fantastic. I'm going to talk about all the programs, okay, and the skills you'd need to learn in those areas. Please kindly drop the link for the Alberta PR pathway. I'll do that. I'll put everything on my slide at the end of the session, so you'd have access to it, okay? But make sure you fill the attendance so that you don't miss out on receiving my slide. All right, absolutely fantastic. So we all have 1 or 2 areas we're interested in. That's the first thing you have to do. Now, the second is you want to know categorically. Sorry, I need to be sure you can still see my screen. Yes. So you want to know categorically, what skills do I need to have? If I decide to go for business analysis, what do I need to learn? Because you'd hear people say so many things. Oh, as a data analyst, you must be a superstar when it comes to coding. You must be a superstar when it comes to mathematics. So it means I can't become a data analyst. So we're going to look at jobs from real job boards. What do they say? All right. What skills do they require? What do employers want from you? Would look at that on different job boards, and then you would be able to determine yourself the areas that you should focus on and what exactly you need to learn to get into those areas. So it's going to be very practical, and this is where you need to take your pen, take your notepad for that area you're interested in, start noting down the skills. I'm going to share everything with you. So we're going to look at a couple of platforms. Some of my favorite platforms on this page. Number one is UK Visa Jobs. If you want to get a job that comes with sponsorship and you are not on UK Visa Jobs, then you are really not serious about it. Okay. Now, UK Visa Jobs is not free. It's a paid platform. You have to subscribe to it, which can be difficult for so many people, especially those who are students. You've paid thousands of pounds in tuition. You don't want to pay more money, subscribing to different other platforms. So what we do at 10Analytics is we pay to these platforms, we subscribe, and we scrape the jobs from the website and share them with you. They are 100% jobs that comes with sponsorship. That's what you'd find in UK Visa Jobs. So that's my favorite. Number two for me is JobRite. For those in the US, if you are not on JobRite and you want to get a job in any of the 8 areas I've listed, then you really haven't gotten started. You have to be on JobRite. And I'll show you what these platforms look, what the platforms look like. We're also going to go to Workopolis for those in Canada as well, and a couple of others. Would skim through so many job boards as we look at individual career path today. Okay, so this is where you get to understand exactly what employers are looking for. So no dilly-dallying, no listening to people who have no experience, who have no industry expertise in that area. And all they talk about are things they have heard other people say. All right, so let's start with the business analyst and the agile project manager. So if I'm a business analyst and I'm an agile project manager, what career path should I start to look at? Okay, what skills do I need to learn? What exactly am I going to experience in this particular career path? I'm going to share that with you. And we're going to start with the business analyst career path. We'll go to UK Visa Jobs. I'll show you that. We'll touch on CV Library. And we're also going to go to Built In. Okay, we'll go to Built In. So let's get started. Let's go to UK Visa Jobs. And then we'll come back right here. So for UK Visa Jobs, like I mentioned earlier, it is paid. It is not free. Okay, but we have paid for the platform. 10Analytics would pay for it. If you are a part of 10Analytics, you get access to this platform, meaning that every Sunday in your classroom, you go to job offers and you'd see all the jobs we have posted for you to apply. We vet these jobs to be sure that these are the jobs you can get. So there is no doubt when you apply. And that's what has made our students so successful in landing jobs, also jobs that come with sponsorship. Okay, so let's go to, so you'd see that right here. Apply for student, graduate, and experience hire jobs with visa sponsorship in the UK. Let me maximize, okay, so we can see my screen clearly. So I'm going to go to jobs, and currently they have about 9,200 jobs with sponsorship. But let's search for the business analyst, okay, business analyst. And you can all do this at the end of today's session, all right? All the links I'll be sharing, all the job boards, go ahead and check. So currently they have 55 business analyst jobs that you can apply to. Okay, business analyst, Apple Pay, e-commerce, Liberty Global, clinical coding business analyst with the NHS, business analyst, King's Cross, London, and so on. Okay, I'm just going to click on the first one. So let's see what this particular role entails. What exactly do they want from you? And what do you need to get this job that comes with sponsorship? Okay, it was posted on the 6th of February. All right. So let's go to the job description. What exactly are you going to be doing as a business analyst working in this company? Number one is business insights and reporting. You are going to lead data-driven analysis. So I want us to juxtapose the two. Let's place them side by side and see when I learn business analysis at 10Analytics, can I apply to this job? Can I get this job? Looking at the requirements. So we're going to look at the description. We're going to look at the minimum qualifications. We're also going to look at the preferred qualifications. Okay. And that gives us a clear idea on what we need to do. But the first one is what? Business insights reporting. And what does this mean? You are going to carry out data-driven analysis. So if you are a business analyst and you want to get this job, you must know how to do what? Analyze data. So let's go to the business analysis curriculum very quickly, the key learning areas. And one of the first things you would learn is what? Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Excel, Power BI, and SQL are the skills, are the tools that you need to analyze data, extract insights from data, and report those insights. Okay, so clearly you can see that as a business analyst learning these skills, I can carry out business insights reporting, business strategy, and planning. So you're going to collaborate with stakeholders to ensure that you help the business solve the problems that they need to solve. Process optimization. You need to know how to optimize processes by first of all mapping out the process, the as-is process. What's the current process? Where are the gaps, inefficiencies, and how do we get to the future states, the to-be process? If you go back to the curriculum, the second thing you're going to learn is what? Process mapping. And you're going to learn how to map out processes using tools and technologies like Lucid Charts, Draw.io, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we're looking at a live job advert, and we are looking at the skills required and comparing to the things you'd learn in class. Okay, so this is not somebody said, oh, you need to know this, you need to know that. You are looking at what exactly you learn and what the job actually requires. Now let's go to the minimum qualifications. Okay, you need to show that you have a background in business and analysis. You need to have excellent analytical skills and proficiency in what? Spreadsheet applications, like your Excel, for example. Excellent written, verbal, and presentation skills. Experience working on business analytics projects. Okay. And if you come right here, back to the curriculum, I'm always going to shift from, front and back between, or back and forth rather. You'd see project initiation, agile, and scrum for projects. So you're going to learn to use Jira to track project deliverables, Confluence to collaborate with stakeholders on projects, Trello to track your team members' tasks and activities and deliverables, and Azure DevOps to deliver on the different agile principles within that business. Now, let's look at the minimum qualifications required or the preferred qualifications. Experience with SQL or Tableau. Tableau, SQL or Tableau. So if you go back to the key learning areas, you're going to learn SQL as a business analyst. SQL, structured query language, is the language that enables you to interact with databases. You are also going to learn Power BI. When it comes to business intelligence, Power BI is the leader above Tableau when it comes to business intelligence. So if you come to me and say, Adez, I want to learn a business intelligence tool, I have the opportunity to learn Power BI or Tableau. Which one should I go for? It's Power BI every day, every time. Power BI it's highly adopted in the industry. It's easier to learn and it's easier to use as well. So Power BI ranks above Tableau when it comes to business intelligence tool. And these are the requirements from the job. They want somebody who is a self-starter, who pays attention to detail, and has the capability to deal with ambiguity. That's all you need to apply to this job. Go into an interview, have 10 analytics prepare you for the interview, and you land the job. And it comes with sponsorship. And they don't need anything crazy overboard to land this job. So it's important you start to look at jobs and the requirements and you understand clearly what each role entails and how you have the opportunity to get that particular job. All right. You are always going to learn more in class than you would ever need in the industry. So if you come back to the key learning areas, as a business analyst, you're also going to learn the software development lifecycle, requirement fundamentals, elicitation, stakeholder analysis and engagement, and AI for business analysis using ChatGPT. You didn't see ChatGPT in that career path. You didn't see elicitation, software development lifecycle, but you would learn them so you can apply to even more jobs within the business analysis ecosystem. You can become a process analyst, a change management analyst, a business systems analyst, a business data analyst, and so on. All right. Your classes are structured in a way that it doesn't matter where you are in the US, you're in Canada, you are in the UK, you are in Nigeria, somewhere in Africa, there's a class for your time zone. In the UK, for example, your live classes are on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So for those in Europe, for those in Africa, for those in the UK, you have a time that fits your class, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. every Saturday. You have a live class with a professional like myself teaching you, working on projects. You have the opportunity to ask real-time questions and get real-time feedback. All right. For those in the US, Canada, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay. 10 a.m. Mountain Time is 12 noon Eastern Time. Okay, so you have a class 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time, and that's for the North American region. So there's a time that fits your schedule, your time zone. And there are two options for you. All the programs have the same options. Your learning timeline, option one, is 6 months learning in class. So you learn for 6 months, adequate time for you to catch up on any class in case you miss a class, and you have adequate time to assimilate and learn all the tools and technologies and the techniques of doing that job. Then you have 2 months internship. So somebody talked about internship earlier. You must complete your internship because that's where you have the opportunity to work on real world projects in a cross-functional team. So you don't work alone. You're going to work with a data analyst. You'd work with a software developer working on a real world project. The second option is 6 months learning in class and 6 months internship. So the internship is elongated for those who want more internship, more experience. So you can go for either option. Option one, 6 months in class, 2 months internship. Option two, 6 months in class, 6 months internship. Okay, so we're going to look at one more role very quickly, the business analysis, and we're also going to check for the agile project manager as well. Okay, the business analyst and the agile project manager. So let's check very quickly. And I'm going to go back to, let's use a different platform this time around. Let's use built-in. Okay, built-in for those looking for remote jobs. You are in the US, you are in Canada. This is one of the best platforms to get remote jobs. Built-in. Again, these are all on my slides. Ensure that you don't miss out on getting the slides by filling the attendance form. All right. So now I want to get a job as a business analyst. I'm in the US, I'm in Canada, for example, or as an agile project manager. I'm in the US, I'm in Canada. I can simply come in here and I'm going to type business. And the moment you type business analyst, you'd see so many areas pop out. Okay, technical business analyst, senior business analyst. Just click on one. Select the location. This is showing Calgary. Okay, it's narrowing it down to my specific province, my specific region. But I'm going to change that to give me a broader level of jobs across different provinces. So I'm just going to select Canada. Okay, because I'm looking for a remote job, I would advise you can check fully remote. But one of the trends that we have seen over the last couple of months, we've seen organizations reducing the number of 100% remote jobs available. So you have more of hybrid. They want you to come to the office 2 days, 3 days a week, and you work 2 days or 3 days from home. Okay. So I'd suggest you select fully remote and hybrid. Okay. I'm going to apply. And again, there are so many other filters, but I'll show you how to use that. But let's search for this first of all, see jobs, and let's see the type of jobs available. Okay, so you can see co-op. So for those looking for co-op, for example, there's a business analyst co-op opportunity posted 3 days ago in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. You can search for so many other type of roles available. One other thing you want to do, I'll show you how to do that, okay? So we can pick any of the roles, okay? Business analyst remote. Let's click on this and let's see what this particular role is all about, the job description. That's what we are concerned about. What do they want us to learn? We've seen all the things we'd learn, okay? So, okay, so let's go to the requirements specifically. What are you going to do? Basic knowledge of programming languages. That's where you're going to learn SQL, ability to create business solutions, enterprise experience, ability to solve technical problems, processes, and understand complex details, project management skills. And that's why as a business analyst, you're going to learn what? Agile and Scrum for projects and project initiation planning. These are your project management skills. You're also going to learn tools in Jira, Confluence, Trello, Azure DevOps. These are the tools for your project management as well. Very important. Okay. So if you go through all the different requirements, you get to find out that there is nothing right here that says I need to have a specific certification. There is nothing that requires skills that are overboard that I can't get and I can't start to apply. The moment I'm done learning all these skills right here. Okay, so it's very important that you understand this. And this goes for all the other programs, all the other career paths. I'm just quickly going to search projects. We can search for Agile Project Manager, for example. Okay, Agile Project Manager to show us different Scrum Master and so on. I'm going to select the United States for this one. Okay, like I said, built-in is mainly for the US and Canada, North America. That's where you get amazing opportunities, okay? So you see different career paths, Agile Project Manager, PMO, Project Manager, PMO, and so on. And all you have to do, click on this, and you can also check, you can filter based on your confidence level, okay? I always advise, don't go for any entry-level role. Go for the junior roles that have 1 to 2 years experience, mid-level and senior level. Okay, don't go for entry level because all the skills you'd learn, your internship, you'd have learned all the skills required for you to get the job done. Okay, and that's what you want to focus on. All right, so if you do this, apply, you'd see the jobs you can apply to. Okay, the ones that are mid-level, the ones that are junior level, and you can even break it down. As an Agile project manager, you can get a job as a Scrum Master. Okay, as a Scrum Master as well. So you'd see what they require you to do. You click on the Scrum Master role. What exactly do they want from you? What exactly are you going to be doing for this particular organization? Let's see. What exactly are you going to be doing for this company? You are going to do what? Facilitate a self-organizing team, which is the Scrum framework, essentially. Remove impediments, coach and support and enforce the Scrum processes, the Scrum ceremonies, and so on and so forth. Okay? And that's what you need getting into any of these roles. As a Scrum Master, you're going to learn Confluence, you're going to learn Jira, you're going to learn Trello. You're going to learn all the different Agile frameworks from Scrum to what? To Kanban, to Lean. You learn Agile metrics and reporting, velocity, burn up, burn down charts, foundation of Agile and Scrum, advanced Scrum and Agile practices, project management skills and communication. So this shows you clearly that I have the skills, I can apply to jobs, and we also prepare you for the professional Scrum Master certification because when you're done with the program as an Agile project manager, is good and get you competitive if you have a PSM certification. So we prepare you for that so you know exactly what you're heading into. All right. Again, your classes are structured in a way that it doesn't matter where you are, there's a class that fits your schedule. You're in the US, you are in the UK, UK 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., US 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So what this means is if I'm in the UK, for example, I've joined the Agile Project Management Program or the Business Analyst Program, and I'm not free in the morning, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. I can join the class for those in the US because that would start in the evening, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. UK time. So I can join that class and I have that flexibility of moving from the morning schedule to the evening schedule if I'm freer in the evening. Okay. Again, you have two options. Option one, 6 months in class, 2 months internship. Option two, elongated internship of what? 6 months. All right. Now we've looked at the business analyst. We've looked at the agile project manager. We're going to go to three other career paths: the data engineer, the data scientist, and the data analyst. Very interesting areas to look at. Okay, very interesting areas to look at. Again, we're going to go to 2 or 3 job boards. Because of time, we're not going to spend too much time, but I'm going to introduce you to JobRite from this platform. For those in the US, JobRite is the best platform to get you a job. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that and how to utilize JobRite. So very quickly, I'll go to UK visa jobs again. My favorite, especially looking for sponsorship, you want to be here. I'm going to type data engineer. I want to apply to a data engineering role. I'm going to type data engineer. There are currently 32 roles available with sponsorship on UK visa jobs. Okay. Data engineer, product analytics with Meta, analytics and data engineering with Apple, and so on. Software, data engineer, and so many roles available. All right. Data engineer, university grad. What's that all about? All right. So let's click on this and let's see what it's all about. So data engineer, university grad. What does it mean? So apparently, Meta is hiring data engineers that are currently or about to complete either a bachelor's or a master's degree. So if you are doing your master's, for example, or you have a master's or you have a BSc or about to complete a BSc, or you have an equivalent of practical experience, you can apply to this job. What do they want from you? That's the most important thing. Minimum qualification, preferred qualification. Those are the two things you want to look at. All right. So what do they want? Knowledge of SQL, programming knowledge in Python, and what else? Knowledge of database systems. So what we are going to do is we're going to go back to the data engineering curriculum and let's see what we'd learn. Okay. One of the first things you'd learn as a data engineer is what? SQL. Structured query language. This is a language that you use to what? To build your data infrastructure, your database, your data warehouse. Data has to be stored somewhere. Where is the data stored? In a typical organization, it's stored in a database, which would be in a data warehouse. Who builds that database and the data warehouse? The data engineer. What technology would you use to build that database and data warehouse? SQL, structured query language. Now, what would you use to move data from where data is generated? So imagine you work with Lloyd's Bank, you work with NatWest, or you work with Scotiabank or TD Bank in Canada, you work with Wells Fargo in the US. You have the opportunity to carry out transactions from a mobile app, from the POS terminal in the supermarket. You have the ATM machines. These are all areas where data gets generated. So if I carry out a transaction in the supermarket, the data is recorded from the POS. If I carry out a transaction on my mobile app, data is also recorded in that mobile app. So the question is, how does Wells Fargo, Scotiabank, Lloyd's Bank get all these transactions into a central location? The data engineer would use Python to build something we call ETL pipelines to move data from that POS database, to move data from that ATM machine, to move data from your mobile application database into the data warehouse that has been created. using SQL. So the role of the data engineer is very simple. Data is generated somewhere. How do we move that data from where it is generated to a central location where it is easy to access? So you can see that right here. You're going to learn SQL, you're going to learn Python, you're going to learn Linux, you're going to learn Apache Spark, Apache Airflow for your data pipeline automation. You'd learn cloud engineering. If you looked at one of the top roles available in 2025, cloud architect is one of them. You can't be a cloud architect without the knowledge of cloud platforms like GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and Azure, Microsoft Azure. Okay, so if you go back to that job post, you're going to learn SQL, you're going to learn Python, you're going to learn database systems, data warehouses, and even more. So what does that mean? When I'm done, or even before I'm done with the program, I can start applying to jobs to get a job as a data engineer, working with Meta and doing these things for them. Okay, so we're going to check one more. Let's go to job rights and let's see using job rights. Like I said, if you're in the US and you want to get a job in any of these areas, you must be on job rights. Okay, so job rights is a platform that recommends jobs to you, and it recommends the jobs based on the CV you have uploaded. So I uploaded one of our student CV. Her name is Mercy Gmo. So her CV is right here. And jobs will be recommended based on the type of CV you've uploaded. But guess what? I don't want to apply to any type of job. I want a data engineering role. So what do you do? After uploading your CV, jobs will be recommended to you. And at the right-hand side, you have the match. And why this is very important is if this job that says reporting data analyst has an 82% match, it means that I have a good chance in landing an interview. But the minimum for us at Analytics is 90 to 95%. So you want to tailor your CV, optimize your CV until you move from 82% to what? 90% or 95% before you apply. When you do this, you would automatically get an interview. So these are the things we teach you during your CV review sessions. We're going to come to that as I move on, okay? But I'm going to go to my filters. And what I want to do is to change my job title. I'm not looking for a data analyst role. I'm looking for a data engineering role. I'm going to come back to change it. But data engineer, let's search for this first. Again, you'd see where you have the job type, full-time, yes. Remote, yes. Okay. If you want sponsorship, H-1B, make sure you select H-1B sponsorship. So you have organizations that have petitioned for H-1B visas in the past, and that's where you want to work. So you also get the H-1B visa as well. So if I click on updates, I would have jobs that are recommended to me. Okay, associate data governance, data engineer, ETL developer, junior SQL developer, and so on and so forth. But I want to work in an organization. I want to apply where I have a good match, where the match is good. So I'm going to filter for the highest match. So I'll come in here and I'll select top matched. Okay. So by selecting top matched, it will show me the job that I match the highest. And that's this one with 82%. I need to do more work to take it to 90 or 95%. That's another class, entirely. Now I want to apply to this job, junior SQL developer. Only 83 applicants to this job, which means I stand a very good chance at landing this job. If only 83 people have applied after 1 week, then if I apply and I get into the interview pool with a very good match, I stand the chance of getting into an interview. And if I get prepared for my interview by a professional, an expert in that area, then I increase the chances of me landing that job. And that's how we ensure you get the job. We prepare you for your interviews. Okay. So when you come back here, let's look at what they want. The required skills, the preferred skill. Again, SQL, which is what we've seen. Familiarity with databases, You're going to use database management system like Microsoft SQL Server, PostgreSQL, exposure to business management and policy management, knowledge of version control like Git. Okay, so if you go back to the curriculum, you'll see where you're going to learn version control. Let me highlight that. You'd learn version control using what? GitHub. All right. And that's exactly what they want you to learn, version control. So you realize that all the skills required to get this job, I can easily learn them within the space of what? 6 months. And I do my internship. Before my internship, I've started applying to jobs. And this is how Tenalytics participants have been so successful. The 2,800 plus people that have gotten jobs, this is how they got their jobs. Okay, by knowing where to apply, knowing how to search for jobs, and eventually applying to those jobs. Okay, now let's search very quickly. Let's do the data analyst. I'm not going to leave JobRite. We're going to use JobRite again, and then we'll go to Workopolis. I'll show you Workopolis for those in Canada. Workopolis is another fantastic platform for you to get jobs. All right, so I'm going to go back. And here I want to apply to data analyst role. So I go back to my filters and I'm going to change from data engineer. I'm going to change this to what? Data analyst. So you can change it to any role, data analyst, data scientist, business analyst, as the case might be. Okay, so I'll click on data analyst and update. So let's see the jobs. Okay, so again, you want to filter strong match. This was posted 1 month ago, but guess what? Just 73 people have applied. What does that mean? You stand a chance of actually getting this job when you apply. Here you have just 30 applicants, and it was posted 2 weeks ago. These are the type of jobs I want to apply to. It means they are struggling to find quality candidates. So I'm going to click on this, for example. Let's see what they even want. What do they want for this role? Okay. Again, this is the data analyst role, for example. They want somebody with experience building dashboards, visualizations, and reports using BI tools. One of these BI tools, Mode, Tableau, Power BI. Tableau and Power BI are part of the skills you'd learn when you learn data analytics. So let's see the curriculum very quickly. The data analyst role. One of the first set of skills you'd learn is what? Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau. Power BI, Tableau are two. They want you to understand one, okay? Not everything. Experience building dashboards and reports using BI tools, one of them. But if you know two, you stand a better chance. Proficiency in SQL. You're going to learn SQL. What else? That's pretty much all they need from you. Power BI, Tableau, SQL. And you can apply to get this job as a data analyst, $91,000 to $120,000 per year, depending on how well you can convince them that you're the right person for the job. And it's even an entry-level role. So this shows you the type of jobs you can get. It shows you the skills you need to learn in order to get those jobs. Okay, if we go back and see more, again, when I tell you that people don't apply to jobs, you understand exactly what I mean. So if we check this, for example, this is another role. Let's see what they require. They want you to understand fluency in SQL. You've seen that SQL has been a constant for any data role. Even the business analyst would need to learn SQL. You learn SQL. They want you to understand one of these business intelligence tools like Looker or Tableau. Again, as a data analyst, you're going to learn Tableau. Power BI, Tableau, you're going to learn SQL, SQL, data storytelling, ChatGPT for analytics, Microsoft Fabric for analytics. And these are the skills you need. So it's very clear without a doubt that I can apply to this job and I can get this job if I have these skills. And that's the most important thing. What are employers looking for? For everything we've been looking at so far, it's always competence over credentials. There is nowhere you'd see certification as this, certification as that. All right. What skills and experience do you bring? Oh, we want 2+ experience, 0 to 1 year experience. And I'll show you how to gain experience. That's the most important part of our session today. How do you gain the experience? One way you do that is through your internship, either for 2 months or 6 months. But how exactly do you show that you have the experience of somebody who has been on this role for 1 year or 2 years? I'll show you exactly how to get that done. All right. We're not going to spend too much time on the data scientist role because you've pretty much seen exactly how and where to apply. If you go to UK visa jobs again, you'd also get to see. Let's go to UK visa jobs. This time around, let's change it to data scientists and let's see what they want. Data scientist role. Let's see what the requirements are. I can see so many questions in the chat. I'll come back to the questions, okay? I want to show you exactly what you need to know, and I'll answer every question before we wrap up today. So you see so many data science roles available with the NHS, Meta, Deutsche Bank, Capital One. This looks interesting. Data scientist, statistician. Let's see what this role entails, and let's see what it's all about, okay? So this is a data scientist role. Let me expand this a little bit so we can see my screen better. It's in Nottingham. What are the skills? What will you do? What do they want you to do? And what skills do they want you to have? What we are looking for. These are the skills they want from you. A good understanding of probability, statistics, machine learning, and familiarity with large data set manipulation. That's number one. Statistics, machine learning, familiarity with large data sets. Let's go to the curriculum and let's see, do we have these skills? Will I learn these skills? Number one on the list of what you'd learn is what? Statistics. As a data scientist, that's the fundamental of data science, statistics. That's the fundamental of machine learning. So you're going to learn statistics, you're going to learn machine learning, and so many other skills would double back and see, would go back and forth and see what skills do they want, what am I going to learn. But they want statistics, they want machine learning, and you've seen that. I'm going to learn statistics. I'm going to learn how to use Excel to carry out statistical analysis, linear regression, exponential smoothing, naive approach to forecasting, and so on and so forth. I'm going to learn machine learning, supervised and unsupervised machine learning. But let's go back to the job description. What else does Capital One want from us to get this visa sponsored job? Okay. Experience in producing reliable and maintainable codes in Python, R, or SQL. Am I going to learn Python or R or SQL? Let's check. So let's go back to the curriculum. What am I going to learn? I'm going to learn Python. I'm going to learn what? SQL, structured query language. Now, hear this from me and take it to the bank. If you have the opportunity of learning Python or learning R, always go for Python. Why? Python is more robust, number one. Python is highly adopted more than R. So they are both programming languages. They can both do the same set of tasks, the same set of things you'd want to do as a data scientist. However, Python is more robust. So I always advise anybody, if you have the option to learn the two, learn Python before you even think of learning any other thing. Okay. So you're going to learn Python. You're going to learn SQL. You're going to learn statistics. You're going to learn machine learning. What else do they need from me? Let's check. Natural curiosity, desire to ask questions, ability to communicate findings, a drive for continued learning. What else? I'm not sure there's any other specific skill or tool that they have listed right here. So every single thing they want from me, I'm going to learn them in class. I'm going to work on projects and I'll be good enough to apply to get this job. Okay. And this is a job that it's also hybrid. Okay. It comes with remote work as well. So they clearly stated it right here. We have a hybrid working model. You don't have to come to the office every day, but they would want you to come 3 days a week. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and Mondays and Fridays you work from home. So what does that mean? You have a very long weekend, interestingly. So Friday you work from home. Saturday, Sunday you're at home. Monday you also work from home. So you only go to work Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. That's the life. All right. The salary, I'm not sure they indicated the salary right here, but the salary for a data scientist in the UK is well above £50,000 and above. All right. So I mean, you get to see and you get to realize that I have the opportunity to land these jobs. So when you see people that tell you that I've gone for a training, I trained with analytics. For those who joined early, you listen to some testimonials before I started. Oh, I joined, I got my job a month before I completed. I had interview prep, I had this, I had that. This is exactly what they did. They looked for the jobs, they had the skills, they completed their internships, they knew exactly where to apply, how to apply, and they got these opportunities. If I'm in Canada, for example, I want to go to Workopolis. Workopolis is another very fantastic platform for anybody in Canada. You have awesome jobs posted right here. Okay. So if you go to Workopolis, um, let's search for data scientist. Okay. Data scientist, type in remote because you want a remote job and click on search for jobs. You're going to see tons and tons of job, AI trainer, data scientist, AI trainer in Winnipeg, data annotator, and so on, senior data scientist, and so many jobs available. Full stack data scientist, Instacart, senior data scientist, and you can click on any of them and see what they want from you. That's the most important thing. What do they want? They want you to have 2+ years experience, ability to run rigorous experiments, write complex, efficient SQL queries. You've seen you're going to learn SQL. They want you to know how to write Python or R. You're going to learn Python. Ability to build and improve customer products. Ability to translate business needs into analytical frameworks. Okay. You go to the requirements, you see what they want from you. All right. Confidence in collaborating and so on and so forth. Whatever you don't have in degree, like I tell everybody, the best data scientists I've seen, they studied psychology, they studied physiology, they studied something totally unrelated. I studied industrial chemistry. I've worked as a data scientist. Whatever you don't have in your university degree, you cover up with your experience. Okay. And remember, we're going to come back to experience and how you can gain experience and show that you have experience. All right. Again, the classes, the structure is the same. You have classes tailored for those in the US, Canada, tailored for those in the UK. So you don't join classes at odd hours. All right. Saturdays are for your live classes. You work with a professional like myself and other industry professionals. You can ask questions. You can stop. Oh, I'm doing this. I ran this query on my SQL. I got the wrong results. What am I doing wrong? You can share your screen and get instant feedback. Every other day, from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you have access to our learning management system. So you log into the learning management system, which I'll show you what it looks like. You watch your videos, you practice on case studies ahead of the next live class the following Saturday. So it's flexible for you to have the opportunity to learn, assimilate in a blended learning environment. Okay, I'm going to touch on this, and these are the last set of jobs we're going to look at: cybersecurity, HR analyst, and the financial analyst. We're going to look at this very, very quickly. First of all, starting with cybersecurity, and the cybersecurity program. Cybersecurity career path is absolutely amazing because you can apply to jobs in different areas. In GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, as an ethical hacker, a penetration tester, a SOC analyst, security operations center analyst. There are so many areas you can apply to. Okay, so let's check very quickly. The HR analyst, the financial analyst. Again, we can check job right. I've shown you job right. We've looked at built in, but let's go to built in very quickly and let's check for the HR analyst role. Okay, so let's check for the HR analyst. Or this time around, let's go to LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn would give us, I'm going to search for HR analyst. Okay. So once you want to leverage LinkedIn, always ensure that once you type in the career path, select jobs as part of your filter. It takes you to the jobs. Okay. Remote, change it to hybrid and remote. Okay. Show results. Let's see the jobs available. Okay. One thing you'd see on my own LinkedIn, you'd see where you have UK visa sponsor, not a UK visa sponsor. So this is a plugin that I use. I'm going to give you the name of the plugin. And if we have time, I'll show you how to install that plugin. So whenever you open any job on LinkedIn, you'd see if this is a company that has the license to sponsor. So let's click on this, for example, compensation analyst. So you'd see Aviva did file UK visa in the last couple of years. I can click to see the info. Okay. So skilled worker visa is one of the options, and global mobility, okay, is another option they have. So they have license for these two routes for sponsorship. You can only see this if you have that plugin. I'll type the name of the plugin. The name of the plugin is Ultimate UK Visa Sponsor Checker. Ultimate, I'm going to type that in the chat. Ultimate UK Visa Sponsor Checker. Okay. I'll show you how to install. Remind me before the end of the session. I'll show you how to install this. Okay, so this is a compensation analyst role, for example. You get to see what they require from you, what you need to have, and so on and so forth. Okay, so when you look at what you'd be doing, your main duties, and you realize that all the skills required to get this job, okay, proven experience analyzing complex data sets. As a HR analyst, you are a data analyst. The difference between you and the data analyst is you focus on HR related data. So they want you to have experience analyzing complex data sets. They want you to have experience working with a HRIS system. So in our program, we have a legacy system that we use, custom system that we built to mimic a HRIS system like Workday, Bamboo HR, and so on and so forth. Okay. They also want you to learn Excel, advanced Excel for data manipulation. All right. Ability to handle sensitive information, demonstrate ability to work independently. So there is nothing here they are not going to learn as a HR analyst, for example. Let's go to the HR analyst. What are you going to learn? You'd learn all the data skills, just like the data analyst, problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. So you're going to learn Excel, which is one of the requirements. They want you to have the ability to handle and analyze data, which you do using Excel, Power BI, and SQL. These are your data skills. Then you learn the other core areas in HR, and you don't need to have experience. You don't need to have worked as a HR professional. All these things, you'd learn them in class during the period of your 6 months learning and 2 months internship, or your 6 months learning and your 6 months internship, depending on the option you go for. HR analytics and performance evaluation, HR metrics and life cycle, collaboration and report automation, building your case and creating action. Again, the structure is pretty much the same. Okay, now we're going to go to cybersecurity, and I'll show you how you can move from one role to the other depending on your interest. Do you want to do SOC analysis? Do you want to become a penetration tester, ethical hacker? Do you want to work in GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, where your focus is on helping the business to implement industry standards when it comes to security principles, helping the organization to adhere to industry relevant regulations like the GDPR and so many other regulations, maintaining compliance records. If that's what you want to do, where you have a less technical role, you deal with more policies, compliance, and so on and so forth. Then GRC is one of the areas you want to look at. Okay. So if we go to UK visa jobs, again, just very quickly, and we search for cybersecurity, you'd see so many roles available. All right. Cybersecurity awareness training specialist, cybersecurity governance risk specialist. This is a GRC role, for example. If you click on this and you see what they want from you, what is required, you get to realize that these are all the things I'm going to learn in class, and I would learn even more. Okay. Have experience in a similar role and can demonstrate good understanding of industry standards, familiar with auditing processes, have a positive and collaborative attitude, work well within a
Jokes.
team. Okay, somebody is
Can you allow
unmuted.
me go back there to buy stuff myself?
All right, sorry about that. I'm just going to mute everyone so we don't have any distractions. All right, so this is one role, for example. All right, and you can see clearly what they want from you, what you need to have to apply to this job. Nothing unbelievable that you can't learn, or you won't learn and even learn more. Okay, but let's go to built-in very quickly, and let's search for more roles in cybersecurity. All right, so I can either search for just a cybersecurity analyst role, cybersecurity analyst, and I can see the type of roles they have available: cybersecurity analyst principal, cybersecurity analyst with Caterpillar, and so many other roles. All right, let's look at one, for example. Let's look at this. Cybersecurity is a mid-level role, and let's see what they want from us, what you do, what you'd have. Okay, so they want you to have knowledge of developing cybersecurity policies, standards, and procedures. If you go to the curriculum, you'd see that clearly that I'm going to learn cybersecurity policies and compliance. Okay, I'm going to learn information security principles, and this gives me the skills to come up with policies, come up with procedures within an organization. I'm going to learn, this is knowledge of processes, tools, and techniques, information security management, and so on. All right. Knowledge of technologies and technology-based solutions. And these are skills, knowledge of IT policies, standards, and procedures. I'm looking for something technical, knowledge of the features and facilities of the system, knowledge of cyber attacks and defenses used, and so on. And these are the things I would learn. I would learn cyber threat and attack vectors, cryptography basics, encryption and decryption. I would learn offensive and defensive cybersecurity, network security, endpoint security, cloud security. Whoops. Sorry, I think I mistakenly. Okay, so I think, let's see if you have to allow me share my screen or make me co-host rather. If you can still hear me, Latif, you need to make me co-host so I can continue sharing my screen. Okay, fantastic. So let's go on. Sorry about that. I think that's technology for you. Something just tripped and my screen stopped sharing. But let's go on. Okay. So you learn all these skills, all these technologies, and this is what gets you into a cybersecurity role, depending on what you want to do. If you want to become a SOC analyst, for example, still in the same vein, you can search for a SOC analyst role. What's a SOC? Who is a SOC analyst? A security operations center analyst. Okay, so SOC analysts, and let's see the roles. So CrowdStrike. If you remember a few months ago, where there was an update made to a security protocol, from CrowdStrike, and so many computers were offline. Aeroplanes couldn't fly again, and so many things were shut down. CrowdStrike was responsible for that. So it's one of the largest cybersecurity firms. Okay, so they're hiring for a SOC analyst. It's a mid-level role, 80K to 130K. SOC analyst. This is an with Alliant Credit Union is a junior role, 77K to 108K. SOC analyst with InterSystems and so on. So let's look at one of the roles and let's see what you'd be doing. All right. So as a security operations analyst, you monitor, you detect, and you respond to security threats and incidents. Okay. I've used the analogy before of you have your security cameras around your home. Now, whenever somebody passes around, the camera captures the person passing in front of your home. There was a break-in into your home. You come back, you want to identify who broke into my home. You're not going to watch the entire video to identify the person. You want to identify the areas where you have anomalies, the area where somebody came too close to your door or came too close to your window. And those are the areas you want to identify and find out exactly how to respond and what happened in that regard. That's what the SOC analyst does in any organization. They monitor the network, they monitor the systems to identify anomalies. If a customer always buys or use their credit card or debit card in the UK, 2, 3 months down the line, that same credit card tries to purchase an item in a physical store in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The SOC analyst would see that anomaly and stop it from happening. So if it's a fraudulent transaction, that transaction would not go through. All right. So that's what the SOC analyst does. And you'd realize that all the things you need in order to get this job as a SOC analyst, you'd learn them right in the program. Okay. So there are numerous jobs available within all these areas. And the reason why we've painstakingly gone through all the different aspects is so that you realize that when people tell you you can't become a data analyst, a data scientist, a HR analyst, a financial analyst, a cybersecurity analyst, you would have gone to these platforms, search for the jobs, look at the skills required, and also look at what you'd learn. And once you've done that, you realize that I have the skills, I can learn the skills to get these jobs, apply to jobs, and land opportunities within the space. Okay. So again, we've looked at one critical aspect of you getting the job: competence over credential. Your competence includes your skills and your experience. So you know that within the space of 6 months, I can learn these skills. Within the space of additional 2 months, I can work in a cross-functional team on projects during my internship. That gives me the skills. The next thing is what? Experience. So within the next 20 minutes or less, I'll show you how to get this experience practically, what we've done over the last almost 5 years, and how we've helped over 2,800 plus people to land jobs. How did they show that they had the experience to get that job? And that's what you'll be getting in the next couple of minutes. So once you are done with your learning in class, your internship is with both Tenalytics and a sister company to Tenalytics called Amdari. So you're going to do your internship with the two companies. So on your CV, on your LinkedIn, and on your LinkedIn, you'd have Tenalytics and you'd also have Amdari as part of your experience. So organizations would find you more attractive that, oh, you are currently on this role, which means you have the skills, you have the experience, and you're more attractive, essentially. So your internship would have Tenalytics and also have Amdari. You have that on your CV, and it makes you stand out from any other candidate. So how do we get experience? Very simple. Experience is gained through project-based studies, project-based case studies. So when you learn, a lot of people learn. I've done it before. I did the same mistakes. I made the same mistakes you've made. I've tried YouTube. I've tried Coursera. I tried Udemy, and I wasted my time until I learned that the best way to learn and transition is through project-based experience. You don't need to go to the office to gain experience. All you need is the ability to work on projects that professionals like Adeza has worked on. So what we do is all our professionals, our industry experts, we gather their experience. I've worked in so many organizations. I've solved so many type of problems. We change the name of the company. We change the data and you work on that same case study. We couch my experience into a case study, and you as a student would work on that case study and solve the exact same problem from a real organization that exists. And that's the way to gain experience. When you gain that experience, you need to show that you have the experience. And I'm going to ask this question, and let me hear your thoughts. Let me get to see what you think about this, okay? You want to buy a couch in your living room, and you're considering two people for that couch. The first person, who is a carpenter, has certification that he went to carpentry school. He was the best in carpentry school. He has a CV that shows that he has carpentry experience. And you have the second carpenter, B, who has a showroom. The showroom, you can walk into the showroom, you can touch the couch he has built, you can feel the quality, you can see all the different colors. You can decide on what you want to buy because you can see and feel the quality. Which of these two carpenters would you go for? The one with the certificate or the one who has a showroom you can walk into and see exactly what they built? So type A or B into the chart. You want to buy that couch. Who would you choose? A or B? I want to see who would choose A. I'll be very interested. The one with the showroom. Absolutely. The one with the showroom. Definitely. Jiki says definitely B. Everybody would choose B because you want to see the quality of what you want to buy. You're not going to make a mistake buying the wrong thing. You don't trust somebody who just says, oh, I have a certification. I went to carpentry school. I was the best in carpentry school. Where is the evidence? Show me proof of work. What have you done before? And that's the same mindset you have to bring into getting a job. Employers have this problem. They don't want to make, there's something Deloitte calls pure. Pure. I think this is, I've forgotten what the P means, but unidentified, sorry, recruitment hire. So they call pure. If anybody who works in Deloitte is on this call, please remind me what's P means. I think previous unidentified recruitment error. Okay, that's what it means. Previously, thank you, Olori. Previously unidentified recruitment error. No company wants to hire somebody who would, it takes time, they're going to spend money and all of that. Replacing that person becomes a hassle. So they want to hire, just like you who wants to buy that couch, they want to hire somebody who has experience. They want to hire somebody who has proof of that experience. And that's where your showroom comes in. So when you work on those case studies that I mentioned, when you learn in a project-based environment, and I'll show you practically what it looks like, you must have a portfolio. Your portfolio is where you warehouse all the projects you've worked on. Anybody can look at what you've done and they can see how good you are. Okay, so I'm going to start with this gentleman right here, Victor. And I'm also going to show you, because of time, we can't look at everything. So Victor is a data scientist, DS. Victoria is a data analyst. Lemuel is a business analyst. Onwachuku is a data engineer. And this gentleman right here is a cybersecurity specialist. Okay, so I'm going to show you maybe Victor and the cybersecurity guy, and you'd see what a portfolio looks like. That showroom you'd walk into to buy the couch, the showroom you have to build as a data scientist, as a data analyst, as a cybersecurity professional, as a project manager, to show potential employers that you're the right person for the job. Now, before I go to Victor's portfolio for you to see what he's done, I'll go to LinkedIn. Okay, because getting a job, remember, is all about positioning yourself. So I'm going to go to LinkedIn and I'll show you Victor's profile very quickly. All right, so I'm going to type Victor Omoboye, very fantastic guy. Victor is currently in our data science program. So I'm going to click on Victor. We go to his profile. Now, one of the first things you'd see on Victor's profile is you don't have a doubt if Victor is a data professional or not. His headline is properly optimized. If a recruiter is looking for a data scientist, his profile would pop up. If the recruiter is looking for somebody with skills in Tableau or Python, his profile would pop up. If they're looking for somebody who has experience in machine learning, his profile would pop up. So his headline is keyword optimized. Very important. And it didn't happen by chance. This is what you do during your LinkedIn optimization session with us. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, we show you how to create one. If you have a LinkedIn profile, we optimize your LinkedIn profile for you. More importantly, Victor's profile has what? The link to his portfolio. The link to his portfolio. So the portfolio I have on my slide right here for Victor, the link is also on his LinkedIn profile. So any recruiter can click on that, and it's also on his CV. So before the recruiter even invites you for an interview, they can see what you've done. They know how good you are, and they can decide, I would love to have a conversation with Victor. All right. Now, let's click on Victor's portfolio. Again, the links, all the links I have, all the links I'm going to click on today, I'm going to have them on my slides. So you have the opportunity to get the slides at the end of the session today. All right. So you have Victor's introduction and all the projects he has worked on. These are a few projects that he pinned on his portfolio. This is Victor's showroom. And I'm going to highlight one project, and I'll use that to explain how you build a showroom of proof of experience. All right. So let's all focus on loan default prediction. This is a project Victor completed. But how did Victor complete this project? How was he able to upload this to his portfolio as part of the work he has done? And I'll show you how you get to do that. Okay. So if you go to the classroom that Victor joined, one of the first things you'd see is, let's go to the machine learning class 1. Okay. So machine learning live class 1. All right. When you go to the class material, you'd see a case study on supervised machine learning. If I click on this case study on supervised machine learning, it's going to bring up the slides. This is a live class. Okay. So let me go back again and explain. This is a live class on machine learning. So as you learn with us and you join your Saturday classes where you have a live class with professionals working with you to solve problems, you not just solve problems by learning, things you watch on video here and there. No, you solve problems by solving real world problems, real world case studies. So this is a case study for a company called Loanalytics Incorporated. And as a data scientist, your role is to help them identify and predict customers that are likely going to default on their loan. So because of recent economic challenges, the number of loan defaults has increased, and the company has a lot of non-performing loans, and it's affecting their bottom line. So you have a background to the problem you're trying to solve. You know what the problem statement is all about. What's the objective and rationale for solving this problem? These are the things you discuss in class. And as you do this, you'd help this company do what? Build a model using Python as a data scientist to predict customers that are likely going to default. Now, let me show you what the class looks like. So once you get into class, again, if you miss this class, you don't forget to join. Maybe you are busy in class, you are busy on that day, and you really don't get to join the class. The recording is always there. You can always go back You can watch the recording. Everything that happened in class, you have access to it. So the same case study, you'd solve it in class with your trainer, your facilitator. You work on this together. So you'd see that it's the exact same case study, loan default prediction. And together in class, one step at a time, you work on this project, you solve the problem, you help this company build a model to predict loan defaults. Okay, once you've done this in class, you've asked questions, you interact with your facilitator, you've built the model, you then get to upload it into your portfolio. So when you go back to Victor's portfolio, you'd see the loan default prediction. And we're going to click on it to see what Victor did. So once you click on that, you'd see what Victor has done. Loan default prediction. You get to see the introduction, the problem statements, the aim of the project, the methodology, and more importantly, you can click on Victor's Python notebook. So if I click on the notebook, it shows me exactly what Victor did. The Python libraries that he used. Okay, we're just going to wait for this to come up. Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and all the other libraries that he used. This is your showroom. Like that carpenter, everybody said, I'll choose B. The person that has evidence that they've done this before. If Victor wants to get a job with a bank, with a financial institution, with a credit union, this is a project that will be relevant to them. Loan prediction model. Okay, so I can scroll down, I can see how Victor cleaned his data, checked for missing values, how he performed his EDA, exploratory data analysis, univariates, bivariates, multivariates. I can see every single thing he did. All right. And this is what shows me, just like that carpenter with a showroom, Victor has the quality to get the job. All right. So it doesn't matter the program you register for, you must build a showroom, which is your website portfolio. So those projects you solve in class, they become part of your experience. When you get into an interview and they ask you competency-based questions, tell me a time you built a prediction model. How did you select your algorithms for your machine learning model? If you haven't done this before, you'd find it difficult to answer that question. But for somebody like Victor who has done it, all he will talk about is talk about a situation using the STAR approach. I worked with a company called Loanalytics Incorporated. Due to the difficult economic climate, customers started to default on their loans. So it was important or pertinent that we built a model to help the company predict the customers that are likely going to default. Okay, you go to the task. What's the task that was required? The task was to build a supervised model using Python and several libraries to come up with a model to predict if a customer would default or not based on different criteria. What actions did you take? You talk about the actions. What results did you get? Deploying that model helped Loanalytics Limited reduce their non-performing loans from 2 billion over the last 6 months to just $1 million in the last couple of weeks. So we brought down the non-performing loans from 90% to just 10%. Okay, so that's how you want to answer questions using the STAR approach, the STAR technique. But the only way you can do this is if you've solved a problem like that before. Okay, so we're also going to see what a cybersecurity portfolio looks like. And of course, you can click on any of the other links when you receive my slide. Victoria, who is a data analyst, Lemuel, who is a business analyst, Onwachuku, Gad Onwachuku, who is a data engineer. And I'm just going to click on the cybersecurity. All right. So all the configuration of a router as a DHCP server is one of the first projects you would work on as a cybersecurity professional. Okay, so if I click on this, I can see what this gentleman has built, how he configured this router as a DHCP server. What were the objectives? What were the different steps carried out? Any hiring manager looking at this would know clearly, how did I assign IP address? Okay, what configurations did I use? And so on and so forth. Any employer, any recruitment manager, any hiring manager that sees this would know clearly that this person knows exactly what they are doing. This is your showroom, and this is how you prove to potential employers that you have the skills to do the job. That's how you learn with us. That's how you build experience and showcase that experience. Okay. So if you go to anybody who has gotten a job, I'm just going to pick somebody randomly. Let's pick Oluwadamilare. His name comes to mind. And I'm going to share some testimonials with you before we leave here today in the next couple of minutes. Okay. So Oluwadamilare got a job last year in April. If you go to Oluwadamilare's profile, you'd see data analyst with Analytics on contracts. So this is how you represent your experience with us. If you're in cybersecurity, Analytics, data engineering, data engineer, Analytics. And this was what Oluwadamilare used, and he got this job with BAM in Leeds in the UK, April 2024. And every other professional, if I go to trying to think of somebody, Busola Adesonya, Busola also got a job last year, one of the 355 people that got jobs last year with us at Analytics. If you go to Busola's profile, Busola is in Canada. She got this job as a performance analyst with Desjardins Insurance. Her prior experience was with who? Analytics. Okay, so this is what positions you for that job. But for you to have that, you must also have proof of experience from your portfolio. Now, before I show you what it takes to get into a Analytics program, I'll show you what your, so once you join the live class on Saturday, after that, what happens? You go into our platform, which is our LMS, our learning management system. Each individual would have their dashboard. Let me see. Okay. There seems to be, I think there seems to be an update going up. I'm going to come back and show before we wrap up our session. Each individual has access to their dashboard. The dashboard is where you go to, and you can watch your videos at your own convenience at any point in time. All right. I'm going to show you that before we wrap up our session. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you can watch videos, solve problems, work on case studies, and all of that. And on Saturday, you join the live platform, okay, where you join a class, you get to work on projects. If you miss that class, you have access to the recording. You can always watch the recording at your own convenience. All right. And that's where you realize that getting the job is not just about the technical skills. All the things I've talked about are technical. Having the portfolio, learning the skills, knowing what to learn, but you must also have the employability skills to get the job. So we know more than anything, and I dare say that your employability skills are even more important, because your technical skills would get you the given, what employers want. Your employability skills get you into the room. And how do we help you with that? We help you write your CV. We help you tailor your CV, and then we teach you how to tailor your CV to job requirements so that subsequently you know exactly what to do. You saw Victor's LinkedIn profile, all right? Would help you optimize your LinkedIn profile so you have the right LinkedIn profile to get access to the job that you want. Navigating the job market. What we did today is a mini session on navigating the job market, where to apply, how to apply, and so on and so forth. If you have an interview, you can book your interview from the two platforms, the live platform and also your learning management system. So if you come in here, you'd see interview preparation and schedule. You click on that and you can book your interview with different professionals, 4 of them. So if I click on Jedediah, for example, it takes me to a Calendly and I can select a time I would like to book. So interview prep with Jedediah, I click on that and I can select a specific time. When do I want to book my interview? Jedediah is available on the 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th. I can select the time that fits my schedule. For example, I want my prep to be on Wednesday, the 26th, 11:30. I select that. I enter my name, enter my surname, enter my email, and I click on what? Book. Okay. And this would book my session for me. Somebody would prepare me for that interview. So I stand a better chance of landing that job eventually. When I get the job, I need a reference. Organizations would reach out for you. Give me 3 references. Give us 2 references. Give us 3 references. We provide you with a reference. Okay. So if you just do we do a very quick check. I'll just show you the tons and tons of reference requests that we always get for candidates. So if I come in here and I just type reference, okay, reference, you see references from different organizations, people applying for universities, people who have gotten jobs, okay, requests for reference, people who have gotten jobs from different companies, confirmation of reference submission from different organizations of our students who have gotten jobs with these different companies. So organizations would always reach out to find out if you have a reputable organization that can vouch for you. We provide you with that reference for you to land the job. When you get the job, you have a project that is a bit difficult for you to complete. We work with you for a month so you have a solid footing. All right. Weekly mentorship sessions. We have that every single Thursdays. We have our weekly mentorship sessions. For those in the UK, for those in Canada, we have sessions tailored to your time zone. Every Thursdays, you have your weekly mentorship session. And then you have Upwork optimization. Upwork optimization is where we show you how to create an Upwork profile. If you already have one, we help you optimize your Upwork profile. Now, as part of navigating the job market, what we do, when I was talking about the UK visa jobs, I hinted on something very important, which is where and how to apply to jobs. So rather than paying for platforms that are expensive for you to pay, we pay for those platforms like UK visa jobs, for example, and we send you these jobs called job offers. So every Sundays, you go to your classroom, you go to job offers, you'd see jobs that we have posted for you to apply to every Sundays, every week. Now, if you go to the most recent on the 16th of February, you'd see jobs that come with sponsorship, the UK, the US, Canada, Nigeria. We post all these jobs. We vetted the jobs and we know that these are jobs that you can get. Okay. Does it come with sponsorship? Yes, 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 yes. So every week you're applying to jobs that come with sponsorship. You're applying to jobs that you know that you can get. Okay. So week in, week out, you have all these jobs. We post these jobs for you and you go ahead to apply. And that's where you start to get opportunities that other people struggle to get. Okay. And finally, access to mentorship, joining the community, and job postings. I just talked about the job postings. The mentorship is where every Thursday you have somebody like myself, other industry experts. We bring in recruitment experts in different regions, and they come in to speak to you about the trends in the industry, what you need to do to land that job. Okay. So last 2 weeks ago, we had interview simulation. Last week, we had this past Thursday, we had a session on networking, preparing a personalized network plan. Okay, I took that session, so I couldn't have forgotten. So building a personalized networking plan. This happened just this Saturday, where you have a mentorship session and we show you how to do things beyond the conventional. Okay, so if you miss this session, for example, you have the opportunity to watch it again from the recording. All right. So that's me right there teaching close to 300, 400 people and showing them how to build a personal networking plan. Where should you go to network? Practical, All the sessions are always what? Practical. Okay, so this is me showing what to do, how to search for jobs, how to search for people, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is what a typical networking session would look like. Every single Thursday, you have your networking session, unconventional job search strategies, utilizing AI for job application, navigating the job market, the seats and the star approach for interview. We had an interview simulation 2 weeks ago. And this past Thursday, we had building a personalized networking plan. That's what mentorship looks like at Tenalytics. And the power of community. You also get to join the Tenalytics community. And I'll summarize everything using this story of a gentleman called Sunday. Sunday Adelusi joined our data science program. All right. He worked with us. We prepared him for his interview. Sunday is in the UK. He got a job after completing his program with a company, United Utilities in the UK, as a regulatory data analyst. Now, Sunday did this job for about a year. He got another opportunity with a better salary with Savant Trent, also in the UK. We prepared Sunday for that interview. We wrote Sunday's reference for him, and he got the job. Now, an opportunity became available in that new company that Sunday just got a job in, a vacancy for a data delivery specialist. Sunday reached out to his team members, to the community, that this role is available. He shared the link and people applied. One of the people that applied is Oluwaseun Adamoloja. Oluwaseun applied. He got invited for the interview. He was also in our data science program. But guess what? When he got invited for the interview, Sunday worked with him to prepare him for that interview. And a month after Sunday joined Savant Trent as a data science specialist, Oluwaseun also got a job in that same company as a data delivery specialist. I can tell you thousands of stories like that. Somebody working in a company, a role becomes available, they share the link in the community, people apply, they prepare them for the interview, and guess what? They get that job. All right. That's the power of being in a community. That's the power of being in a community. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a few success stories and then we wrap up our session for today. Because what's a session like this without people who have done this? They've gone the route, done the program, and they've gotten jobs and they're thriving. I'll start with Hope. Hope was one of those people who had certifications. She had PMP as a project manager. She had PSM as a Scrum Master, but she couldn't get a job. She moved to Canada. She struggled to get interviews. She couldn't get a job. She joined our Agile Project Management program last year, September 2024. Okay. And by December, she had gotten this job. Because what Hope needed was not certification. She was always projecting her certification. She had no experience. She had no proof that she had experience, no showroom. Everybody said, I'm going to choose Carpenter B, who has the showroom. Hope had no showroom. So we worked with her to build a portfolio. We worked with her during her interview, and she secured this job as a project analyst with a company in Waterloo, Ontario. That's Hope's story. And there's a link right here to listen to Hope and she telling her story, how she was able to make this journey with the help of Tenalytics. Same with Oluwadamilare, no prior experience, joined our data analytics program, got a job as a sustainability data analyst with BAM in the UK. You have Fikayo. Fikayo had a background in finance and accounting. She joined our full stack data science program. Okay, and Fikayo landed a job as a business solutions analyst with a company in Canada a month before she completed her program. All right, I'm going to play one of the videos for you. All right, you have somebody like Adetayo who joined our cybersecurity program, and before he even completed 60 to 70% completion, he got a job. and so many other professionals like that. Ikmat was a stay-at-home mom in the UK. She was doing her master's. She couldn't get a job. She joined our data analytics program. And today, Ikmat got a full visa sponsorship role with the NHS in the UK. And I'm going to play Ikmat's video for you to listen to how Ikmat was able to do it. All right. Toyin was a pharmacist. Toyin joined, she was a pharmacist back in Nigeria, no tech background, no tech knowledge. And she came into our data analytics program. And today, Toyin is a benefits analyst, also with the NHS, full visa sponsorship as well. Tenalytics has 59 alumni working with the NHS in the UK as data analysts, business architects, data scientists, benefits analysts. Ramat also works with the NHS full visa sponsorship as a business architect after completing our business analysis program. Okay, I'm going to play Ikmat's video very quickly, and I want you to listen to Ikmat. How was Ikmat able to make that transition? All the links to all the other professionals, you'd have this, so you can always go back, watch them, listen to how they made their transition, and I'm sure you'd find that very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to play
use AI tools.
I'm going to play Ikmat's video. I need to be sure that you can hear the audio. Yes, you can. Okay, so let's sit back, relax, and enjoy Ikmat. It's about 3 minutes. It's quite long, but you get all the things I've been saying is summarized into how Ikmat was able to transition. So listen and enjoy Ikmat's story.
Hi everyone, my name is Ikmat, and I was with the March cohort in Tenalytics, and joining Tenalytics has been the best decision so far. You know, for me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, you know, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that Tenalytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, you know, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. You know, in Tenalytics, they will hold your hands like a child, you know, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. You know, we have people you can always go back to, even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever, because he was like, he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked, and I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, you know, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a maths test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews, and yes, it worked. It really worked for me, because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student, and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up, because you always have Tenalytics to go back to. They are the best and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable. the most affordable one I've come across so far. And that's a very good advantage. So yes, analytics for the win.
So that's Ikmat's absolutely fantastic lady. She's actually she's an ambassador of Tenalytics, doing amazing stuff with the NHS, visa sponsorship. She's on her way to getting her ILR, her indefinite leave to remain, which is the equivalence of your PR in Canada. And from there, 12 months after, she's going to get her British citizenship. And that all started from getting into the data analytics career path. So there are so many other people. I'm not going to bore you with all the testimonials, but there are tons and tons of them. Somebody like Ngozi, who currently works remotely. Ngozi is in Huddersfield. Ngozi had a background in customer service and HR back in Nigeria. She joined our business analysis program, and Ngozi is a business analyst working remotely in Huddersfield, UK. So many other people. Abigail was a care worker in Saskatchewan. She joined our program. Today, Abigail works with the government of Alberta as a business analyst. You have Busola. Busola had experience, but she didn't know how to interview. She didn't know how to prepare for interviews. So she joined our full stack data science program and she got a job. The first job was as a Python curriculum designer, but today she's a machine learning engineer, also in the UK. Oyefikayo has a background in finance and accounting. She joined our full stack data science program. Oyefikayo works with a company in Ontario as a business solutions analyst. And she got this job a month before she even completed her program with us. All right. I think I'm going to play Oyefikayo's video so we get to listen to Oyefikayo, absolutely phenomenal lady, and so many other people. We have people from Nigeria, people from Ghana. Abdul Rashid, for example, is in Abuja, Nigeria, and he works for a company in the US called Chow 420, working for them remotely, earning in dollars, spending in Naira, and so many other success stories. Okay, you also have the link to listen. One of the things we do is to also bring people that have gotten jobs to come back and share their experience. Okay, so how I secured a job after my Tenalytics journey. And you have numerous sessions like this. And again, I'll show you where you have access to all of them and the most recent sessions like this. All right. One of the things we decided to do last year was get closer to our North American audience, the US and Canada. So we came into Canada, we set up the business in Canada, we created an entity in Alberta because of its favorable business environments in the whole of Canada. I think Alberta is the most favorable when it comes to businesses. We launched Tenalytics Canada in May 2024. And one of the ways we decided to do that was to get into the Alberta Catalyzer program. It's a program for innovative startups looking to do amazing stuff within the ecosystem. All right. It was an amazing time. And that's me right there. And that's the co-founder, Efemina, also there during this program. So I'd implore you to read the article, see the amazing stuff we are doing. If you click on this, it takes you to the article where you meet amazing startups in Northern Alberta doing amazing stuff. So that's Tenalytics right there. Tenalytics helping people, Africans, land jobs across the tech ecosystem. Okay, so that's a very good read. It was also published on Tech Cabal. It's also good for you to read about that as well. That's myself, that's Efemena, and I'm sure you'd find one or two things to learn from there as well. Okay, we also got accredited by the American Council of Training and Development. Click here, it takes you to the accreditation, which is a testament of the amazing work that we are doing within the space. Now, before I go to the fees, our next cohort starts on the 8th of March, 2025. And this is the best time to get started because we have an amazing discount for people on this call. All right. But before we get into the fees, I'm going to go back to, I was going to show you the dashboard. I was getting, so the dashboard is up. I was getting error the other time, I think because of my network. So you join your live classes on Saturdays, like I showed you, you work with a professional, but every other day you are here on this platform. You'd see welcome back to, if it's Tony, welcome back, Tony. This is my platform. This is my own page, my own dashboard. So welcome back, Adeza. If you have an interview, you can also book your interview from here. Okay. And all you have to do is go to interview preparation, click on schedule appointment, and you can also book your interview from here. You can book interview prep from your live classroom, like I showed you right here. Okay. You can do that from here, book an interview prep session, or you can book it directly from the LMS, the Learning Management System. Click on schedule appointments, select the program you registered for, insert the link to the job you've applied to, enter the details of the job, select the stage of the interview, first level, second level, first level interview, select the dates you want your interview to hold. You want it tomorrow, Sunday, for example. Then you upload the CV you used to apply to that job, and then you select an instructor that will prepare you for that interview. Okay. So if I'm in cybersecurity, I've completed my Saturday class. It's a Monday. I just want to learn. I just want to try some other things out. I'm just going to come here to the LMS. Okay. I want to learn information security principles. I click on that, information security principles, and I watch my video, and I'm learning from the best of the best in the industry. The person teaching you information security principle, Olajumoke, in this video, Olajumoke has over 15 years experience as a cybersecurity professional. She's worked for companies in the US. She's a senior cybersecurity professional in MTN Nigeria, doing amazing stuff, teaching you how to get into the space. So you have Olajumoke, you have other instructors teaching you different modules during your program. Okay. Now, once I'm done watching, learning the concept, I have a case study. Every module ends with a case study. So your case study, just like I showed you, Victor, the other time, you work on a business case. This is how you build experience. You work on a business case, you solve the problem for this business, and you upload the project into your portfolio. All right. So every other day, this is where you are. You're watching your videos, practicing along, solving problems. And on Saturdays, you are in the live platform where you get to interact with your trainer, solve problems together. And if you ever miss a class, there's a recording to access what happened in class on that day. Okay, you can watch that. You get to see every single question, every single thing that was done, so you don't miss anything. Okay, so how do you join the cohorts that starts on the 8th of March 2025? For the first 20 people to get started, we have an amazing discount for you. All right, depending on the option you decide to go for. For the first option, where you have 8 months, which is 6 months learning, 2 months internship, instead of paying $900, you get a 20% discount, and you only get to pay $750. All right. And for those who go for the 6 months learning, 6 months internship, elongated internship, instead of $1,200, you get to pay just $1,000 to get started, another 20% off. Now, to make it even more exciting and more flexible for you to get in, you have installment options. So for the first plan, you can pay $150 monthly for 5 months. And for the second plan, you pay $125 monthly for 8 months. So it's easy to get started. And that's the discounts we have available for you. So the installment plan, the flexible option, is available not to everybody, but to the first 20 people who wants to get started either in the month of March or in the month of April. Okay, so if your March is currently filled up with commitments, you can get into the program today, secure your discount, secure your slots, and defer your program to start in April. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. Okay, so all you need to do is come to this link, which my colleagues would also share with you. click on this link and it takes you into the Tenalytics Enrollment Center. And I'm going to walk you through what exactly you need to do. All right. So you have access to all the program brochures. You can chat with us, any of our team members. Click on this. You have access to that. And I'm going to take you to, so let's assume you are joining the business analysis program, for example, the first plan, which is 6 months learning, 2 months internship. I click on this and it takes me to where I can get to make payments. It doesn't matter where you are. You're in South Africa, you can pay using South African Rand. So out of the 20 slots, one person has secured their discount right on the call. So we have 19 slots left. So once all the slots are gone, what happens? The fees would go back to the original amount. Okay. So if I want to pay in US dollars, I can select US dollars. And instead of paying $900, I get to pay just $750. And I can break my payments in multiple installments. I can make a one-time payment, 2 monthly payments, 3 monthly payments, 4 and up to 5 monthly payments for the first option of 6 months learning, 2 months internship. Okay, so let's take, for example, I'm in Canada. I want to pay in Canadian dollars. I can do that by clicking on the currency button right here, and I can select CAD, and I get to pay in Canadian dollars. Okay, so that's how you get started. So I'm in the UK, for example. I want to pay in pounds, GBP, and I can get to pay in pounds. All right. So instead of paying, the full amount, you have your discounted fee. I can pay in 5 installments. I click on this and I click on secure your seat. So you'd see what the payment timeline looks like. You pay the first payment of £123 today. The next payment comes in a month after, 22nd of March, 22nd of April, 22nd of May, 22nd of June. I click on proceed. I enter my name. I enter my email. I enter my phone number and I click on pay for product. The moment I click on pay for product, I enter my card details, the card holder name, your address, your zip code, and you confirm payment. So when you pay and your payment has been confirmed, you would receive a receipt, a confirmation of payment directly to the email you've provided. And you'd also be automatically redirected to the registration form for you to complete your registration. All right. Your registration form is going to look like this. So you'd automatically be redirected to this form, and the link to the form would also be sent to your email. This is where you complete your registration. Now, for those of you that want to secure your discounts now, and you can't start on the 8th of April, you can't start on the 8th of March, I beg your pardon. You want to start on the 5th of April. All you have to do, click on next, select all the details. What type of payment did you make? Was it an initial payment? Was it a full payment? You click on next. You fill all these details, click on next. Next. You click on that, select your option, 8 months, 12 months. If you have any questions regarding payments, payment plan, once you send an email to finance@analytics.io, somebody would address that question for you. Click on next, enter your name, your last name, email, gender, next. Okay. You have any questions regarding anything, you can send us an email to enquiries@analytics.io, admission@analytics.io, or you can reach out to any of my team members through mobile or WhatsApp. Okay, click on next. You select when you make payment. So let's say you make payment today, 22nd of February, select that. Upload the screenshot as proof of payment. Click on next. Next. Now, this is where, for those of you that are still confused, you don't know if you should go for data analytics, business analysis, cybersecurity, what you want to do if you're not sure, and you want to have conversations with a professional to direct you and guide you. We don't tell you exactly what to do, but we guide you to selecting the right program. All you need to do is come in here and select, I need to speak to a professional. Once you select this, would schedule you and organize a clarity session to answer all the questions and help you select the right program. Okay. If you know what you want project management, select that. You want business analysis, select cybersecurity, select the program you're interested in. If you're not sure, select I need to speak to a professional and would work with you to help you come to a conclusion. But the most important part is I have selected my discounts by making the first installment. So even though the slots are gone, I know that my discount is still obtainable. Somebody reached out to me today. He joined our session this same time in December last year, but he didn't join, he didn't start. So at that time, the discount was still there. And he was telling me, oh, Adeza, I want to join the February cohort, but the fees are higher. I said yes, because in December, we had a discount. But now that discount is gone, so you have to pay more. All right. So this is the time to take advantage of the discount, make your first payment, and you secured your slots. All right. So you click on next, and this is where you choose if you want to start on the 8th of March or you want to start on the 5th of April. You select that right here, fill all the other details. Where are you joining from? Your country of residence. How did you hear about us? And you submit the form. Once you've done this, your registration is complete. All right. Remember, while there's a discount available, 20% discount, the discount is only for the first 20 people to get started. All right. I'm going to take questions. I'm going to show you where you can get access to more materials especially about testimonials, people that have gone ahead of you. They've joined Analytics and they've gotten jobs and they are doing the things you are trying to do. Okay, or they've gotten to where you are trying to get to. I'll show you where exactly you can get access to all these materials. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to take questions. I'll take questions from the chat. If you want to unmute yourself to ask your question, please feel free. Use the hand raise icon and I'll call you up to unmute, or you can just type your questions in the chat. I'll take questions for the next 15 minutes before we call it a day. Afam is asking, can I get until month end to make the first payment? Afam, the answer is yes. The answer is also no. Yes, if they are still available discounted slots. And if the discounted slots are gone, you would have to make the full payment. So let's take, for example, you want to go for data analytics, the 8 months plan, 6 months learning, 2 months internship. The discounted fee is $750. The original fee is $900. So if you secure your slot now, you're paying $750. If you're paying at the end of the month and the discounts are gone, you get to pay $900. I hope that explains that to you. Lizzie is asking, I live in the UK, but my goal is to get a job in Canada or the US. How can you help? So one of the first things you want to do, Lizzie, is to get the skills. Okay, once you've gotten the skills that you need, the next thing is to start applying to jobs. Okay, so there are different pathways to come into Canada. All right, so what we will do for you is to show you available pathways. The Alberta Advantage Immigration Program. There are so many other programs available for the tech, people with tech talents. All right, even in the UK as well, the Global Talent, which includes both Global Talent and Global Promise. All right, one of the first things you need to do is to show that you have experience in that area, and you can go ahead and start applying. But would work with you to get the skills, to get the experience. Your experience is going to be with Analytics Canada because you want to come to Canada. So you show that you have experience, and that gives you the opportunity to get access to jobs from other Canadian companies who would know that you already have Canadian experience. So it's a good place for you to start. Okay. But the first thing you want to do, Lizzie, is learn. Without the skills, you can't do anything. If you come to Canada, you can't compete for the best jobs available. Okay. If you think it's difficult to get a job in the UK, Canada requires ×2 of the efforts that you need. All right. Canada also requires a whole lot of networking and a whole lot of mentorship, which are the things we provide to our Canadian audience. Okay. And that's what you also stand to enjoy as well. If you're trying to figure it out, wing it yourself, you're going to have a torrid, difficult time to land a job. Okay. Let me take more questions. I have an upcoming security monitoring analyst interview. So Eugene, if you're a part of, you have this on Tuesday. If you register today, you can book the interview. Okay. So what I'll suggest you do, Eugene, is this. I'm going to send you a personalized message. Once you've made payment, completed your registration, send an email to finance@tenalytics.io. Okay, send an email to finance@tenalytics.io and say that I have made payment. I have an interview coming up on Tuesday. I discussed with Adeza. How can I book my interview? Okay, so the team is going to be notified and they would expect your email. So the earlier you register, the better for you. So you can book a session for Tuesday and we get to prepare you for that interview. Is it possible for somebody with zero experience or knowledge of coding to become a data engineer? Absolutely. Nobody is giving birth to with data engineering knowledge. There's no DNA for data engineering. Everybody gets to learn the skill. So you don't need any experience. You don't need any background. You come to class, all the things you need, you learn them in class. You work on projects. And that's why you have ample time to assimilate all the skills, the technologies that you need. Okay. If we have time, I'm going to show you a data engineer, zero experience, zero knowledge. He worked with Jaguar Land Rover in Coventry. He currently works with a company called QuantSpark in London as an analytics engineer after completing our data engineering program. So you don't need any background or experience. Akuma is saying, I need to discuss something with one of your staff. Absolutely, Akuma. Send an email to inquiries@tenalytics. My colleague has responded already. Is there an age limit? I'm in my early 50s. The answer is no, especially if you're trying to get a job in the UK, in the US, in Canada, and in the more advanced countries. Nobody's going to discriminate against you because of your age. However, with age comes um, your ability to adapt to it's a fast, intensive program. Okay. So if you are willing and you have the drive to be in class, to learn these new technologies, to participate in presentations, you'd have group presentations, individual presentations, group tasks, group assignments, individual assignments. If you contribute in class effectively, you'd have no problems at all getting a job, irrespective of your age. Now, what we have seen, we've had somebody who was about 2 years to retirement. He wanted to retire, I think, at the age of 57 or thereabout, but it was about 55 when he joined our program. But his eventual goal was to set up a consultancy. He has always been in oil and gas, but he wanted to speak to clients using the lingo of data analytics and understanding of the tech ecosystem. And that was his own objective of joining the program with us. All right. So you want to become a business owner, set up your own consultancy, or get a job, irrespective. Age is usually not a limitation for you. If you want to get a job in Africa, you want to get a job in other regions similar to that, you might have a challenge. Okay. I'm trying to see the questions, more questions, more questions. What of someone that has some knowledge of data analytics but need internship? Is that possible? Yes, it is. Send an email to inquiries and we'll work something out for you. You can join just the internship. We work with you. You work on projects. We do your CV. We do your LinkedIn. We prepare you for interviews and you can land a job in that way. Okay. Don't we have any HR analytics reviews? So many of them. Let me show you. Um, I can't possibly show you all the testimonials. There are 1,000,001 testimonials. Okay, 1,000,001, but I'm going to show you a few. Again, you have all my slides. So you can go through the testimonials. For example, somebody looking for HR, this is Sonia. Sonia used to live in Nigeria. She moved to the UK. She currently works with BAT in the UK as a HR analyst after completing our HR analytics program. This is the gentleman, Idris Adebisi, for the guy who was asking about data engineering. Idris completed his data engineering program. He got a job with Jaguar Land Rover in Coventry in the UK. He came back to us. We prepared him for another interview after a year, and he landed this job as a senior analytics engineer with QuantSpark in the UK. All right. Chika, financial analyst, also in the UK. You have Ebube. Ebube, she sent us our NHS ID card. Ebube is data science, completed our data science program, and she sent us this message. My new role is data scientist. My first proper job in the UK after Tenalytics training. Okay. So there are tons and tons of more testimonials. I can't possibly show you everything. Olugbemi is in Canada. Benga is in Poland. Okay. Data analytics. Olugbemi is also data analytics as well. This is the gentleman, Sunday Adelusi, who got a job as a regulatory data analyst and came back to send a link, helped somebody else to also get a job in that same company. Okay, these are all financial analysts, completed our financial analytics program, and tons of more testimonial. Okay, I'm trying to get, this is a lawyer. His name is Temi Vaughn. Temi joined us as a lawyer, joined our business analysis program. He's also in the UK doing amazing stuff as a lawyer in the UK. This is Victor Oyeshino. Victor joined our HR analytics program and he got a job as a people operations analyst after completing his training with us in the US. He was in Lagos working remotely for Hugo in Chicago, Illinois. Today, Victor is a senior HR business partner with Tangerine Africa. Okay, so there are tons and tons of testimonials, and I'll show you where to get access to these testimonials. So let's go to the Tenalytics YouTube page. So two things I want you to do before you wrap up your Saturday with us. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, follow us on LinkedIn, and all the platforms you can think about. We are all on these platforms. So go on YouTube, go to the search and search for Tenalytics. All right, it's going to bring up our YouTube page. Click on the Tenalytics logo, and it takes you to 5 years, almost 5 years worth of materials. The session I had last week, if you click on videos, I had a session last week, very powerful session. You can get to watch that right here. Okay. Testimonials. This is Hope, the lady who had certificates in project management but couldn't get a job. Onwachuku, who is a data engineer. They both came to share their experience, how I got a job, my Tenalytics, my post-Tenalytics career success story. You can watch all these videos, get access to all these materials, unconventional job search strategies. I took this session 2 weeks ago. Powerful, powerful session. But more importantly, this is what you want to do. Go to the playlist. Okay. Go to testimonials or look for Tenalytics job success stories. Click on that. It's going to take you to the playlist. We have a playlist of over 130, okay, 139. These are people that have gone ahead of you. So you're looking for HR, you find it here. You're looking for cybersecurity, listen to our data. Okay. You're looking for any area, just come in here and click, and you're going to find somebody that you can easily relate, you can easily relate to based on your own career journey. All right. So I'm going to play one more video. We're going to call it a day. It's been a day long spent already. So let me play one more video for you, and then we're going to wrap it up. Let me see who you'd like to listen to. Okay, so let's not go too far. I'm just going to play Oyefikayo because it's short. It's just 1 minute, 23 seconds. Oyefikayo is in Canada. Oyefikayo joined Full Stack Data Science, and she's a business solutions analyst at the moment. Ngozi Aderemi currently works remotely. I wish I could play everything, but of course I can't. But let's listen to Oyefikayo very quickly. And I'll see if we have more questions, and I'm going to take those questions. Specification of laptop. You need a mid-range laptop, nothing overboard. Mid-range, 8 GB RAM, 256 GB SSD, Core i3, Core i5. You don't need anything, out of this world. Okay. You're not answering my question. Caleb, type your question again. Let me see if perhaps I missed your question. I'll take it again. Okay. So while you are doing that, let's listen to Oyefikayo very quickly.
I got the job. I'm so happy I got the job. I got the job 1 month to the end of my program. Good afternoon. My name is Oyefikayo Adeshina. I got to know about analytics through one of their Instagram adverts at that point where I just needed a direction. I would say that is still one of the best decisions I've ever made in my career. Ever since I joined them, the classes, resources, instructors, they are great people. They are always there to support you. You have the Watch Me Do It videos where you can go at your learning pace, and you have the Saturday classes. You have assignments, you have team project where you learn, you work with different people on your team. Joining Analytics has helped me a lot because my background is finance. I'm new to tech. I've never done coding in my life, but now I can tell you I have a very good grasp of what is going on. They have the live sessions, they have the weekly, they have Wednesday, Thursday and Friday programs where you can join CV review sessions where you can review your CV. You have your interview review sessions. This kind of support they give to you will be surprised. When I booked my interview session, they were really on my case. Like, they just gave me that support, they gave me that confidence I needed for the interview, and I'm so happy I got the job. I got the job 1 month to the end of my program, and even after getting a reference letter, like all the support you need to succeed, they will hold you by the hand till you are where you need to be.
Okay, that's Oyefikayo. I think I'm going to play one more. Somebody who works remotely. I want you to listen to Ngozi. I'm going to play Ngozi's video and maybe take 1 or 2 more questions, and then we call it a day. So let's listen to Ngozi.
Hi, my name is Ngozi Aderemi. For a long time, I've been looking for a working from home kind of job. So I did my business analysis training with Analytics, and guess what? After my training, I started looking for a job, trying to get a working from home job, and now I got one. I just want to encourage you as a student of Analytics, or maybe you're aspiring to join Analytics for training. It's very good because when you're done, you will get a working from home job. Thank you.
So you can see Ngozi. Ngozi had a background. Ngozi had a background in customer service. She was working as a customer service professional. So you'd have seen her, you can see what's it called? The headphones, just like a customer service professional. But Ngozi today moved from customer service to a business analyst. She lives in Huddersfield. She worked out of Huddersfield as a business analyst. Okay. Let me see if Caleb has sent his question again. Caleb, I've not still seen your question. I'm a nurse trying to transition to tech. Which one would be easier for me to transition to? So, Jen, what you want to do, secure your slot, secure the discounts. When you're feeling the program you want to join us for, select I need to speak to a professional. We're going to have a clarity session with you. We take those questions, we help you select the program, and you get your journey started. Okay. Caleb is asking, can someone that have OND or HND register? Absolutely. OND, HND is a post-secondary degree. post-secondary degree. As long as you have a post-secondary degree, OND, HND, master's, diploma, you can get a job in any of these areas by highlighting the skills that you have and the experience, just like I've shown you so far. Okay. Can you help? We don't help in securing visas for people. We help in the process of you securing that visa, from your reference letters to your recommendation letters to the career path you should focus on, and so on. But what we always advise is, we have so many immigration consultants we can recommend, but you make a decision on that in terms of securing the visa. But we guide you with all the necessary documentation that relates to us. And let me show you somebody very quickly. Her name is Ololade. Ololade got her PR, moved from Nigeria to Calgary, Alberta, and she got that after completing her program with us. Okay. Like I mentioned, the referencing, I wrote her reference letter, her recommendation letter, and all of that. Let me look for Ololade. I hope she's on this slide. Yes, that's Ololade right there. Okay. So this is Ololade sending me an email. This email came in September 2024, last year. Dear sir, this is Ololade. I would like to appreciate your help with the referral for my Canada PR application. It is with great joy that I'd like to inform you that my application was successful and I'm now a PR holder. May God Almighty continue to bless you and uphold Tenalytics. Accept my best wishes. So Ololade moved from Nigeria. She's currently in Calgary, Alberta, as a permanent resident. I wrote her reference, her recommendation during the process of our application. Okay. And that's how we also get to help. We're going to call it a day because it's been a long day spent. And I would like to say thank you for joining us on this Saturday evening, 22nd of February. But if you had a good time, you enjoyed the session today, you learned one or two things, as I promised before we got started, type in wonderful into the chat. Type in wonderful into the chat. Okay, Albert says wonderful. Ogochukwu says wonderful. Fantastic. Okay, thanks for joining us today. It's been an amazing, amazing session. I always love to have sessions like this for two reasons. Number one, to help more people get started. You need this information to start. If you don't know where to start, you don't know how to start, you don't know where to look for jobs, you don't know where the jobs are, you don't know what skills you need to learn, you're always going to find it difficult to get started. The second reason why I like having sessions like this is because I know that for those who are ready to get started, they take that decision today. And for those who might not start today and they decide to start later, you know you have the right partner to start with at Tenalytics. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today. For those of you that have registered and have made payments already, you start your journey on the 8th of March. For those of you that selected April, you start on the 5th of April. Make sure you secure your discount. Okay, so you get in at a fee that is easy for you to complete your payments and for you to get started. So thanks very much. Thanks for being a part, for allowing us to be a part of your Saturday. And I hope to see you in some other session. All right. Nadine is saying I paid but did not see the discount. If you've made payments, Nadine, it contains the discount already. So the discount disappears when the slots are gone. All right. When the slots are gone, the discount also goes. I hope that answers. So whatever amount you paid, Nadine, today for any program you've paid, it came with the discount in any currency, in pounds, in Canadian dollars, in euros, South African rand, CD, Nigerian naira, you would have gotten the discounts. It just converts it. So if you change from dollars to pounds, it converts the discounted fee into pounds. If you're paying Canadian dollars, it converts it to Canadian dollars, but you would have paid the discounted fee. Thank you very much, guys. Have an amazing weekend ahead, and I look forward to seeing you in class, getting your journey started. Okay? Cheers, everyone, and have an amazing time.